What's up, guys? Welcome to a new episode, actually episode 3 of the Real and Unapologetic Podcast with your hosts Rif and Cee. Cee, how you been, man? What's been going on, man?
The week's been cool. My kids started back to school and everything, so we just gotta start working around their schedules and everything now. They both doing classes online. And other than that, just chilling. One of the good things about COVID, man, is that this is time when I will be missing my kids right now, man. But now they home with me.
They're home, right?
Even though they wrapped up in classes and stuff most of the day, it's still that contact, that interaction that we got going on. So that's one good thing I could say about COVID.
No, that's good, because I've heard parents say that they was glad to get the kids out, COVID or not. They was sending them to the school for COVID or not. They didn't care. You know what I'm saying? But that's good.
Here's some masks, man. Just go. Just get out. I gave you the mask. What more you want from me? I checked out that movie One Night in Miami.
Oh, how was that? Yeah. I seen it, but what you thought about it?
Yo, that movie was good, man. That big props to Regina King on that one, man.
Right. I was surprised to see her do something like that. You know what I mean? Like, wasn't that like her first intro into like directing and all that?
Yeah, I think that was her first time directing.
Right.
I think she may, if I might be wrong, but she may have directed one of the episodes of what was the name of that movie? You ever seen that movie 7 Seconds?
7 Seconds. I seen it. It was like the like a show, right?
Yeah, it was like a little mini series about a kid that got hit on his bike coming. He was coming. I'm not gonna give away the movie, but he was coming from someplace he shouldn't have been coming from, or someplace he didn't want his parents to know
right.
Coming from. And the whole drama that ensued after that. That was another good movie. But this movie, man, like I said, big props to Regina King on that one, man.
Nah, the dialogue was great.
I'm not going to give away the movie, but what I got out of it is that in order for us as a people to get past the past, we gotta have to sit down with ourselves and have some real and uncomfortable conversations,
self-assessments.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say that this movie started those conversations, but those conversations need to continue.
Right. Nah, I agree. Because it was deep. Just the whole every role each character played. You know what I mean? The position that they played was real deep. Like you said, we don't want to give it out, but definitely a movie for everybody to check. One Night in Miami.
Ready for tonight? I'm as ready as a person can be. After the fight, we're all coming back here for the champs victory party. Don't be late.
Minister Malcolm X. Good news, the chariot is coming.
You know I'm the greatest. That's right.
Jim Brown takes the ball.
Your record is going to stand the test of time.
How's everybody feeling tonight?
All together, yeah.
New heavyweight champion of the world.
Say, champ, you don't suppose you could sign an autograph?
Yeah, of course, man. Give him an autograph, Jim.
Actually, Mr. Cook.
Oh, sure thing, brother.
Don't
you think it's about time to party?
Tonight is a chance for us to reflect.
You mean no one else is coming? Well, this is off to a hopping start.
You all are a bright and shining future. You need to understand what is at stake here.
Everything's not so black and white like you make it out to be.
Another thing I liked about the movie too was that it showed that y'all could be boys and y'all can come at each other with stuff that y'all disagree on, but at the end of the day, y'all still boys. It ain't like it is nowadays. If you come at your boy for something you think he doing wrong and he don't like it, most of the times cats is ending the friendship. It's over. I like that aspect of the movie.
Yeah, man. But this dude, you can't even do the guys that were in the movie that were, and who they were portraying. Like, I don't know how the actors are in real life because they're in this era, but back then, them guys, they didn't give a shit. You had Jim Brown who didn't give a shit. You know, Malcolm X, he spoke his mind. Sam Cooke. I mean, you had everybody, Muhammad Ali. These guys didn't give a shit, and you know what I mean. And it showed to this day. That's how they didn't change up. And I'm sure if Malcolm X was still alive, he'd be the same way. But yeah. But the people nowadays, man, that's another thing, cause that's how you write. That's how it should be. That's how it should be.
Just think, just even talking about Jim Brown. Just think of the size of that nigga's balls for him to do what he did at the top of his career.
Right.
At the top of his career. He basically said, look, I'm doing so much for this franchise, and y'all can't give me this little time that I need for myself to do some of the other stuff I want to do.
Right.
Fuck y'all, I quit.
Right.
That's balls.
That's balls, but that's hey, listen, man. By the time, you know, the whole reason for starting Real Unapologetic is because that's what we want to do. We want to give people balls again. We want people to walk around with balls again, because
that's right.
I feel a lot of people lost it, man. They turned pussy, and including the men. You know, the women, they've been, you know, they're women, they're females. They're supposed to be emotional, but the men have turned into a lot of female, tendencies. They have a lot of female tendencies, and they need their balls back, man. I believe that shit, man. I'm with you on that, because you should be able to kick it. You should be able to kick it like that with your boy and be like, boom, you know, and be like, yo, look, this is what's up. And then you guys still go out and have fun.
Yeah. That's what it's about. I can come at you, my boy, but if I see you doing something that I don't agree with, or even if we just get into an everyday argument, nowadays cats are just like, oh, I'm done with him. They might even be thinking about popping a cap in the nigga because he came off on him. I'm like, dude, what is that solving?
Yo,
what is that solving? Y'all supposed to be boys. Right. You know, you're supposed to be able to overcome all of that. You know? But
you're right. You're right. But a lot of people,
young cats need to watch this movie.
You're right. But that's the reason why, you know, with our topic today, us discussing fear, that has a lot to do with fear. You know what I'm saying? That brings us into this topic, because a lot of cats are afraid of what people might say. They're afraid of hearing the truth, of positive criticism or negative criticism, which is going to help you in the end and benefit you. They're afraid of that shit. So they prefer to, you know, bust a cap, boom, then they hear and have to hear that cat and face them every day. You know what I'm saying? It's like, damn, he was telling me the truth. I'm taking him out. You know, that shit is like, yeah, man.
That's weak. Real weak.
It's real weak. Right. Definitely, man. But before we get in that topic, I was gonna tell you that I had a critter issue, man. Like, it wasn't a critter. I think it was like a squirrel or something. I got a fireplace. So yesterday, you know, I'm working or whatever, and I hear something like,
oh yeah,
you know what I mean? Like a scratch, right? So I'm like, what the hell is that? You know, so I look and I hear it's coming from the fireplace, and I'm like, what the hell? So I look at the top, the fireplace, at the top of the flue or whatever, and I see the top of it, the cap is closed. I'm like, all right, the cap thing gone. Like, how did it get in? So then on the side, there's a vent. On the fireplace outside on the brick, there's a vent. So I'm like, the only thing that can get in there is some type of squirrel type thing or whatever. And I said a cat couldn't get in there because I got cats in my neighborhood. Like, there's 2 cats that come from this old lady, where they just always be sitting in front of my door waiting for me every day, like literally like this, just chilling, like, what up? You know what I mean? Like, so bottom line is, on the fireplace thing, man, I'm like, all right, I got to freaking do something about it. So I close all my doors in the house, open the front door, and I pulled the cap down or whatever on the floor or whatever, on the bottom there. So I pulled it down to open it, and nothing came out. So I was like, all right, fuck it. I got wood. And I just fucking threw a bunch of wood up in there. Lit that door out. He's gone now. Yeah. So I just got my old girl. She hit me up, right? So that's why I said it, because she'd be up and she's like, oh, how's, you get rid of that critter issue or whatever. I said, yeah, I don't hear nothing today. It's been good. So yeah, I guess I smoked his ass out. So yeah, that was funny, man. Just the you never think of these things, man. And then I was like looking online. People have these issues, man, where all kind of shit will crawl through your fireplace, try to get in. You know what I'm saying? You got crazy. Yeah. It's just
you got to look at it though, man. We infringing on their territory. They was here first,
right?
Right. Especially in these new complexes and stuff they be building. The squirrels are like, yo, we've been here for years. What is this? There used to be a tree here. What is this? Right. I got to check it out. You say, oh, this might be a little more comfortable, man. This temperature's nice all year round. Yeah, I can hang here for a minute. They like, thank you. But then we like, hey, what's going on? What's happening? What is this? Hey, I got critters. Nah, we infringing on his territory.
Right. Nah. You right. For real, man. That's for these. Nah. That's, yo, man. I was like, yo, you know what? At first I'm like, man, this is wrong, to smoke him out. But then I'm like, listen, all right, he's got to go, man. So, to all the critter animal lovers or whatever, don't I know this is the cancel culture. Don't cancel me because I birthed them out of my fireplace. You know what I'm saying? So they be quick to cancel you because like, yo, this dude's burning things in the fireplace. I didn't see him, he didn't see me. So he's gone.
Y'all just came to a mutual understanding.
He was like, it's getting hot as hell in here. So he just left. He's like, it's getting hot as hell in here. So I'm out. All right. So what we want to start with, man, is first was Cee, was what he did for us is give us the definition of fear. And so he said, what is fear? Definition: an unpleasant emotion caused by the belief that someone or something is dangerous, likely to cause pain, or is a threat. You want to jump into that?
I can jump in. I mean, just looking at that definition, it tells me, one, that fear is not real. If you look at the definition, it says an emotion. An emotion is something that's not tangible.
Right.
Caused by a belief, something else that's not tangible. And what is a belief? A belief is just a thought that you or someone else has placed in your head, and you either accept that as true or you assume it to be true. So again, it's nothing tangible,
I agree.
And, it just shows you that a lot of times these fears, if you really dig deep into your fear, you'll find out that either the fear that you're thinking about is not the actual fear itself, or that there's no merit to the fear that you have. But you got to be able to have that time to dig into it and say, okay, why am I feeling this way? And then once you realize that it's the fear itself can't actually hurt you, that is something that you put into your mind. Now you start to overcame that fear. And if you apply the same principles to another fear, it just becomes easier and easier to overcome anything that's been holding you back, especially when it pertains to fear.
Right. I definitely agree with that, man. Definitely fear is an emotion. I totally agree with that. And what I think, man, is that what people do, what they do, they allow it. It's like, best analogy is like the mechanic tell you to fix one problem in the car, and you procrastinate on it, and it turns into something else, and it transitions into something else, and the next thing you know, it sees. And I think that's what people do. Mentally they're afraid of whatever it is that they're afraid of. It stops them. Then what happens, without them being persistent and moving forward, or being consistent and moving forward, they start procrastinating, and then eventually laziness kicks in and they lose. You know what I'm saying? They lose it, and then that fear and all that shit just it breaks them down, and they get comfortable with it. I believe that, like I said, it's an emotion that people it's comforting. It soothes you on bullshit that you don't really, you need better, you need to do better, but the fear goes, you don't really got to do this shit. You look, we're okay. We're okay in here. You know, don't worry about it. You know, it's like, it's bullshit. And like you said, it's like they say, fear, false evidence appearing real. I've seen that. I know you've seen that everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's exactly what it is, man. And on that note, while we're doing that, let's go into, we're going to break down and discuss the different kinds of fear. So the first one being the fear of God, which is the beginning of wisdom. Now, personally, I think if you fear God and you don't allow anything else, you have that special place in your mind and in your heart for God, and you don't allow anything else in, you're unstoppable. You know what I mean? Nobody can defeat you. Nothing can defeat you. You will conquer all. You won't be afraid to fail, because that's what people end up fearing is failure. That's you won't fear. When you fear God, he cancels everything else out, man. It's just, you're on a path. And when I discovered that, man, I was on a path of greatness where I don't give a shit, man. I'm being honest. I don't care about people saying no, because I'm wise enough to understand that when I started at no, they're not saying nothing to me that didn't move me it didn't move me further back. You know what I'm saying? You started at no, and it's like, all right, you didn't say anything. All right, next. And that's what God gives you, that wisdom to understand. So a person that doesn't have that God in the forefront, I could see them being a lot more afraid of hearing the word no. It feels like a person stripped them of something. You know what I mean? They go put that application in there like, no, we're not hiring. And it's like, yo, what the hell? You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah. And what you think? What you think about that?
And like I said, this show is real and unapologetic.
Right.
You know, this what I'm about to say is probably a whole other topic for another show. I've never been a religious person. And
No doubt.
when I say religious, I don't believe in religion in the sense that a lot of other people believe in religion. I don't believe in Christianity. I don't believe in Judaism. I don't believe in Catholicism. All right. Do I believe there's a higher power? Absolutely, without a doubt, without a question. But do I believe in what I feel books and words converted by man? I haven't heard those words from the power itself. All I'm trying to do, all most people try to do, is interpret the words of what somebody else interpreted as the word of God. So do I believe in higher? Bottom line is yes, I do believe there's a higher power, but I don't believe in religion in the same sense that most people.
All right. Now I'm with that. You're right. That's a whole different topic, and I'm pretty much the same. I believe there's a supreme being. I believe. Have I ever faced? Now I know that me tapping in to the higher power, may that be God, Allah, Buddhism. I mean, Buddhist, whoever, you know, whatever it is I'm tapping into. And I'm not in my flesh, literally in my flesh, like just the flesh is weak anyway. You know what I mean? The flesh is tempted to do all the dumbest shit. And when you tap into something higher, it takes you away from the dumbest shit, real shit, just to be real and unapologetic. It keeps you from doing all the dumb shit, all the tempting things, everything that's easy. It stops you from doing easy.
Right. I agree. But, you know, I said all of that to say that, you know, when people talk about the fear of God, in my opinion, what they're talking about is the fear of themselves reaching their full potential.
Right.
You know, because, and like I said, let me take some quotes from the Bible. You know, they say God made us in his own image. Okay. You don't make a copy of something that's not just like you. You know what I'm saying? You don't make a copy. When you make a copy of a piece of paper, everything on that piece of paper is the same as the original. So to me, if you say he made me in his own image, he made me everything that he is. I have that power in me. And if you want to talk about fear of God, yes, I do believe that people have the fear of reaching their full potential for whatever reason. And we're going to delve into that in this show. But that's when you talk about fear of God, that's what I believe. You're actually fearing yourself reaching your full potential. You know, whether it's okay, we only use 10% of our brains. Anybody ever thought, what happened if we use 40%? What happened if we were able to use 60%? What's the other percentage in there that we're not using or we don't have access to all the time? What if we reach that potential? And that's where I think, like, in different religions, they talk about, reaching enlightenment and
that's
all
wisdom.
of that.
That's wisdom.
Yeah, right.
That's them becoming wiser. You know, through their experiences, they just became wiser. Like, oh, don't do that dumb shit no more. Oh, that's hot when I touch that. You're wiser. So you get to a place that you're comfortable with yourself. You're confident. You're sure. So you don't fear. You're afraid. So that's the fear of God. That's what that is to me. When people go, because if you had to explain it to somebody that is, like you said, all right, explain this to me. You're not religious. And I go, all right, well, it's like this. It's just believing in oneself enough that you're going to do everything possible, all the information, all the instruction you need, all the direction you need to, to become wiser and also to continuously move forward. So that's what you're going to do. You're going to do everything that you need to do for yourself. There's not going to be any excuses. You're not going to down yourself. I mean, that's the fear of God is wisdom. So it's removing all the bullshit thoughts that you think, all the negativity from your life, all the hate that comes from outside. And we're going to talk about that external fear from like evil spirits and people just being negative. And that's what an evil spirit is. Like, I try to break it down like this for people. People go, all right, so you believe in good, you believe the God and devil. And I said, I believe that there is good. If you take out one of the O's for good, it's God. If you take out the D off of the devil, it's evil. You know what I'm saying? And then if you put that D and that O together, it's do, meaning you got to continuously do, regardless of what's coming at you. You got people on the outside, the external negativity. You got people doing this over here, or it might be you just doing it to yourself, negatively, just thinking the worst thoughts. Like, the one shit I don't say, I don't use try unless it's off of somebody else. So if I'm right now, if you go, cause I'm hungry, and say you were in the hospital or whatever, right? And I'm trying to feed you, and I have to use try with you because that's you. You know what I mean? I don't use try for myself though. I either do or I don't do it. That's fucking it. There's no because try to me sounds too close to cry. So if you crying, basically. That's to me. You know what I mean? Like,
I like that. I'm gonna have to use that from now on.
For real. Cause if you trying, you crying. It's like people use that a lot. Like, yo, I'm trying. It's like, I get it. But what are you doing? I came up with this quote, and I'll send that out. I made it in a like Photoshop, whatever. But it says, stop trying and start doing. Trying leaves you with excuses, and doing gives you answers. You know what I'm saying? So if you constantly trying something it's definitely based off of fear when you try something. And people don't realize that. So when people hear me say it, when I hear them say it, and I go, then you didn't do it. That's what you're telling me. You didn't accomplish it. You didn't do it. No, I tried. No, that's not a real word. Like, either you went to the store, you bought the package, boom, you got it. If you didn't go to the store, you didn't try. If you said, well, it was traffic, and then you didn't do it, then you didn't try. You didn't trying. If you trying is an actual complete, it's an attempt. And once you get on that side of trying it, you're going to do it. If you actually try, like, so you won't even say I tried because it'll be done. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people get caught there in the middle, and they use that like, yo, what happened? Why didn't you finish school? I tried. Yeah, all right. So what all right, after school, you could have went back and got your GED. I tried that. All right. So you never went to class. You ever tried to go to class? Yeah, you didn't do this shit. You didn't want to. And that's what we were talking about, where fear goes into without persistence and consistency, it dwells and all goes all the way into procrastination, which becomes laziness. And then you're comfortable with being lazy, and it's a fear that's stopping you, and I don't think people see that shit. I think they're actually out here doing shit, right? They're doing it. This is what they've got in their head, that they're doing it, and that should be good enough for everybody else too. You know what I mean? Like
that's the same thing. That's part of that pussy culture now,
right?
You know, and when I say that, that's and all kids now get a participation trophy. Back when I was growing up, if you didn't win, you lost. That was all there is to it. Not, let me give you an award because you fuck that.
Right.
That's not how it works in real life.
It doesn't work that way.
Your boss is not going to be like, yo, didn't I give you a project to do that was due last week? He's not going to accept. Oh, boy, I tried to get it done. Can I still get my bonus?
Right.
No, get out my office.
Right. And then he's definitely not going to demote you and then or fire you or just hire somebody else in your position and then say, you know what, just because you showed up today and you suck, we're still going to give you another position. Like, that's not how this shit works, man.
Right.
You fucking work. And I was talking about this with another friend of mine. I was telling her, I said, and she's Caucasian, and I told her, I said, we were talking about everything that's going on in the country, white, black, everything, man. And I said, performance is what people meet. If they meet your ass and you are in that fear mode that you're being lazy and it's taking over and you procrastinate and you notice, that's what people are meeting. It's not because you're black. It's not because you're Hispanic. It's not because you're white that they go, oh, welcome in, sir. Your performance is what they meet. When they see you and you come in the door and they see you hungry, I can see somebody hungry. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You see somebody hungry when you listen. It's like this, man. When we started this from day one, that's why when the family's like, yo, boom, we're going to do this. That's why I'm like, yo, listen, I'm already living my life. You living your life doing your thing, but we're going to add in and keep adding to our shit. You know what I mean? And that means we're going to keep doing. I'm not talking about it no more. You know what I mean? I don't want to. So that's where I think people get caught up, man. They allow that procrastination. They keep putting shit off. And that's where fear, that's also that affects the fear that you already have that started off this small becomes like a big snowball effect because you done lied to yourself. That is the worst thing to do is when you lie to yourself constantly to go, yo, now I'm gonna get up on Tuesday and I'm gonna go put the application in. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna get up on Friday next week, I'm gonna put the application. But you done been to the club, you done been to the mall, you done been down to your girl's house, you done been everywhere else except to go do this application. So your performance is what people are seeing, man. They're seeing you don't fucking work. And it's your fear that you're not performing right because if you constantly and I can tell you this, if you have a fear and you're afraid of what people are going to think about you, I say just do your very best, be persistent and be consistent with what it is you're doing. That's it. As long as you keep showing up, you're going to get better. You're going to improve. People are going to see that. They're going to greet you and meet you and they're going to be like, damn, that's a hard worker. And there won't be any excuse there. And that fear will be removed because you will see people accept you for your hard work, for your work ethic. And it's not anything to do with your skin color or anything else, man. It's not about where you come from. Shit, me and C came from the worst parts of the country. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real. Listen, this is Real Unapologetic. Let me tell you, at age 11, seeing somebody get their brains blown out of their brain, it's real shit, man. At age 11. Mm-hmm. Now, age 11, I came out. It was one of my boys, his brother. Age 11, man. I walk out. I hear the guy running up the street chasing the guy. I see this whole scene. It's still in my brain. Boom, boom. That blood was there on that asphalt for I don't know how long until it rained away, until they washed it. I don't remember. I just knew that stain was there, man. We was playing football. We constantly played, but the trauma was there. And it also that trauma set a fear in place for me where I was afraid that I hear a gunshot, you go running, you know what I'm saying? But then I got to a point, this is what happens, that you become desensitized where you're now like, you hear the gunshot, you just fucking keep doing what you're doing as a kid. Yeah. So it got to a point where you were afraid, but then you got to a point where you're like comfortable with it, like, this is normal. And it's like, that's not fucking normal. But like I said, as far as trauma, that's what trauma does. That's also a trigger that causes fear. You know what I'm saying? The trauma that you see, and then now you're afraid to do certain things. And you got to take notice of it and realize and go, wait, that had nothing to do with me. I wasn't responsible for that gun, that bullet. I had nothing to do with that. And when you stop taking that personal, that trauma that you've been through, you're able to heal and move forward. You know what I'm saying? You're able to be around guns and shoot them or whatever and enjoy, going out to the range or whatever. You know why? Because you've healed from that. But I've met people to this day, man, because they grew up in a city and they hear gunshots, so they see guns. Yo, don't bring those guns around me. They're traumatized from it and they haven't healed through it. And it's a fear that they're holding on to. You know what I mean? And fear, I've noticed that fear pops up everywhere. Like we're talking about, with guns and trauma. And then at work, fear is there. Where's a couple other places fear is at?
It's fear is everywhere, man. But like what you just said, in a way, though, Shay, according to psychiatrists and stuff, that's normal. Like you constantly hearing gunshots and stuff around you, you become desensitized to it. So that you hear guns, like you said, you hear gunshots, you don't even think to run anymore. You just like, oh, it's a gunshot. And you might think, well, did I do something wrong? Is somebody coming after me? Oh, no, then I ain't worried about it. Right. And that's the same approach that they take with people now to overcome their fear. Like if a person got a fear of dogs, they teach the person to overcome a fear of dog. They start with a stuffed dog. They let the person hang out with a stuffed dog. Then they might they let them be around the stuffed dog. And then they add some barking to it. They add some growling to it so that the person starts to become desensitized to all of that. Then they give them a real puppy, because a puppy ain't going to hurt you. They give them a real pup, and you start to become, oh, this is just a dog now. It's just a dog. I'm not afraid of the dog now.
Right.
But that's how it works in the city. You hear these gunshots every single day. It gets to a point where you don't fear the gunshot anymore.
Right. But it'll cause problems later, that trauma, and then being desensitized, you're now ignoring something that you actually should be running for cover for. You know what I'm saying? Like real shit. You should really be like, oh, but what it does is it's what, and you know what, the media is good for this. They're constantly putting on smaller bits and pieces of things, and they desensitize these kids. And they did it with everything and bringing kids into, like bringing in the LGBT and all this stuff like that. And I don't have no hate against anybody and doing things, but I'm just saying how they desensitize people to doing so they don't fear it anymore. People had a fear of that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And they're like, I don't want to see that. And then now they bring it a little bit in an entire commercial. Then they bring it up in a movie you like. Then they bring it up in another thing. Then next thing you know, there's billboards and all kind of shit. And then you got celebrities, everybody. So they've been doing this. But what you don't realize, it's a good method in helping people with fears. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, with the dog and bring the dog, boom, it's a good method, definitely. So, all right. So just what we started with, if you're just catching in, is the fear of God was our first one where we, in the topic of fear of God, which is the beginning of understanding of wisdom, being wise and making better decisions in your life. And now we're on the fear of danger, and it's when you face threat of any kind. And that's what we're talking about with the gunshots and so forth. What are some other fears of danger?
Fears. Well, you know what? That brings me to I'm a movie buff, so
right.
Did you ever see this movie called After Earth?
After Earth with Will Smith?
Will Smith and his son.
That shit sucked, man.
Dude, go back. Now, no, but check it out. Check it out.
I know.
Go back and watch it now, but look at it in the context of what we're talking about now. Fear and overcoming, and how everything that got you to this point makes you stronger by overcoming your fears.
Overcoming your fear, right. All right. Definitely.
There was one quote in the movie that stuck with me. All right. And this is an old movie, so I don't mind giving it away if people didn't watch it. You know what?
Right.
I'm going to give it away. But Will Smith, him and his son was in a spaceship crash going to another planet or whatever. Will Smith is like this superior leader, no fear, whatever. But however, he gets hurt in the crash. His son is all right, and it's up to his son to get them out of this. But his son is by all standards in the movie wimpish, and he's book smart. He can get the book part down, but when it comes to actually facing fear and facing combat, he ain't got it, or he don't think he has it. But there's a point in the movie where Will Smith is like, look, this is up to you. And he sits his son down and he tells him, fear is not real. The only place that fear can exist is in our thoughts of the future. It's a product of our imagination, causing us to fear things that do not at present and may not ever exist.
Yes, right.
That is insanity. And then he says, do not misunderstand me. Danger is very real, but fear, that's a choice.
It is.
And yo, when I looked at the movie again, and when he said that, that shit was just like, wow.
Yeah, no. That's deep.
That's wow. And what it means to me is that you say you're afraid of stuff that you're really not afraid of to keep you from doing what you're doing. Now, and for an example, think about it. You're not real. The dark, something being dark and walking into a dark room can't hurt you. But a lot of people fear the dark. But the true fear is not the dark.
It's the fear of the unknown.
The true fear is that there may be something in the dark that could do harm to you because now you're operating without one of your senses.
Right.
You know, you don't actually have a fear of heights. Heights can't hurt you.
Heights can't hurt you.
Height in itself can't hurt you unless you climbing Mount Everest and the air is getting thin. But actual height, the word height, the meaning height cannot hurt you.
Right.
But you have a fear of falling from that height and what it'll do to your physical body. That's the true fear.
But that again,
you have to learn to distinguish between fear and danger. And when you break them down, most fears don't exist. They only exist in your mind. Because they can't hurt you. You don't fear the lion. You fear what the lion could do to you with them teeth and them claws.
Right.
You know, but you don't actually fear the lion.
Right.
Well, unless you're walking around in a meat suit. But, you know, you don't actually fear the lion.
Right.
You fear what he can do to you. You fear the pain that he can inflict on you.
Yeah, he can cause, right.
You know, so you got to learn to break down what is your actual fear before you, I'm afraid of heights. When you say afraid of heights, that's going to keep you off a ladder. That's going to keep you from watching fireworks from the top of the roof. You're not afraid of heights. You're afraid of falling and the pain that'll be associated with that.
Right. But if people, they don't realize them saying that, speaking it into existence, that's why it becomes real. Mm-hmm. Because your words are powerful. You know, again, that's that wisdom and being wise and knowing what to say. And one of the 4 agreements is be impeccable with your word. When you speak anything, that's what happens, man. I believe that. Like when you say, I'm not going to make it, you're not going to fucking make it, man.
Yeah.
Me, I can't even say that shit. Like I said that, I don't even like that coming out of my mouth because at the end of the day, I know me, I don't even speak like that. I don't give a shit what it is. I don't care what, hey, the storm came and the president who's there, listen, that shit has nothing to do with me. Mm-hmm. And I believe that you speak things to an existence, and that's why it becomes a reality because you spoke it about yourself. And that's what you actually, and when you speak things, your mind, it's how it is. It's like a freaking remote control. You press mute, it mutes the remote control. And that's what your mind, when you say, I'm not going to do something, you're not going to do it because you're controlling your mind with your words. So if you tell yourself, I'm going to work hard today, you're going to work hard. I've been at work and man, I've been tired up for like, I remember one time, man, it was like 32 hours. Done flew, landed, worked, everything, man. The only thing I kept saying to myself was, yo, tonight I'm going to be in my bed. And that's what got me through, was that at the end of the night, it's true. I was going to be in the bed. And that's why I kept going. I was tired. You know how you're so tired and you're literally, you feel like you're about to smack the floor. You know what I mean? And you don't smack the floor. You just are walking on, I don't know what you're walking on. You just like, people are handing you papers and doing shit and you just like doing it, but you like off. But I spoke that into existence, man. But if I would have spoke, man, I'm tired, man. I'm not going to make it, man. I ain't going to make it then, man. Mm-hmm. And that's the fears that the thing is that we have to gain wisdom, which in turn will give us understanding and will give us a clear view of what, like you said, it's not having a fear of heights. You're not really afraid of heights. You're afraid of that fall. But as long as you're cautious, there's no fear there. You know what I'm saying? And I've seen people like that on roller coasters. I don't want to get on. I'm afraid of the heights and the side. And it's like, listen, I don't even think about that shit. And I tell them, I'm thinking about the thrill. I'm thinking about the enjoyment. I'm thinking about the excitement. I'm thinking about the fun. I'm not thinking of the fear.
Right.
I don't think about fear. And if you do, that's your problem. That's the root of the whatever it is, the negativity, the evil. Like when we get into these things, that's the problem, man. So the fear of danger is when we face a certain threat. And that's what people feel like when you're threatened by the height. You're threatened by the helicopter height. You're threatened by the airplane when it goes up and how high it's going. And you're thinking if the airplane crashes. You're threatened by bringing in or hearing the word no. You don't want to hear no. So you don't put that application. You don't go seek a better job. You don't go, that position been on that bulletin board for the whole week. You watch everybody else put their name on it. And you're like, knowing you were the best and candidate for the job, but you won't do it because that fear of what if I don't get it? Mm-hmm. What ifs don't exist to me, man. What ifs, all that shit don't exist. And
got people that just give up without trying. Right. That is a pet peeve that I have. My kids will tell you, I drive them crazy. That drives me absolutely nuts. If you want to give up without even trying something first, oh man.
And see, I don't even like you saying trying. If you're gonna give up without committing to it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like trying, like I said, to me, you won't even, anybody who sets out to try will fail.
Exactly. If you set out and you say, I'm giving everything I got to doing this, you can't fail.
You can't.
You cannot fail.
Right. Even if you, like I tell people this, a failed attempt, like, right, it's a success. Like you definitely took off and say there wasn't enough in your rocket ship to launch it. There wasn't enough. You didn't have enough gas or oil, whatever you needed, and you didn't have enough. But that's a successful attempt and the launch. You did it. Now, that's not a try. Like I said, try can be used in certain things when you're talking about somebody else or when you're talking about, hey, it's my turn. I'm going to give this a try right here on this spin. I'm going to spin the wheel too. That's when you can associate it with yourself. But other than that, you should never associate trying with anything that you want to accomplish or anything that you want to succeed at, because you won't. You know, I know that. And if people don't know that now, actually do that. And that's, you know what I mean? Do it. Commit to it in your head saying you don't use try. And watch how many things you start just, boom, knocking them down because you're not using that word. That word, it's a weak word. And we use it because it almost counts. Mm-hmm. It almost counts. You know what I mean? It almost counts. It almost means like, so you went out. So you could say that like, yeah, I tried today. I went out. Nah, you didn't do it. Because if you really go out to do something, man, let me tell you this story. Since we on fair, mm-hmm. I had a huge, I remember, man, when I was working for corporate and they're running me fucking. I mean, when I say they're running me everywhere. We covered 5 states. 2 weeks I'm over here. 2 weeks I'm in Utah. 2 weeks I'm in New Mexico. 2 weeks I'm in Vegas. I mean, they're throwing me all over the place, and I knew how much this corporation was made. They're global. They're freaking everywhere. Every continent. They're in continents. They're not even just in the country. They're in the continents. All the continents. Probably minus Antarctica or something like that. But no, serious. But they everywhere.
You don't know it. They had the snowsuit ready for you, Shay. They
had the snowsuit, right? Because I done been in Alaska all over, man. But let me just tell you this. The position itself was very rewarding. It taught me everything I needed to know. But I knew I needed to get out. So during that time, I remember the day I picked up the phone and I called my supervisor and I told him these words. I said, today's the day. That's exactly what I said. I said that to him. Today's the day, because I've talked to them about this before. So he was like, so, you're putting in your notice now? And I said, yes. And at the time, man, I'm telling you, I felt so sure. See, I felt so sure, man. A couple months went by, no real plan. I knew I wanted out. I knew I wanted to build something for myself, but I had no plan. No plan. So that first year, it was no real plan, nothing tangible. You know what I'm saying? It was just like the thought was there. Like, yeah, I'm going to do it. What happened was procrastination, being inconsistent, and not being as persistent as I should. All those kicked in, that fear kicked in. I ended up picking the phone up, calling my supervisor back. I left him a voicemail and I listened to it. Mm-hmm. I sounded so pussy on the fucking voicemail. I didn't send it, right? Mm-hmm. And that moment, after hearing my voicemail, that's what made me go, you don't got no other fucking choice. You leave that voicemail, you just basically just told him, you're begging this company that you need them, that you're not worth shit. You're begging them. You're saying you can't do what they can do. That's what you're saying to yourself. You can't do what they can do. And if anybody's all right with that, more power to you. But I wasn't. I was like, I hung the phone, boom, deleted that message. And from then on, from that day, I just started building, man. It was like something came over me after that phone call. And that fear right there of the unknown. I was afraid of the unknown because I was like, yo, what the fuck? Is the bills are coming up? You have some money on hand. You taking a project here. It ain't doing what you were doing with them. So now you're comparing things, and comparison to me kills. It's another part of fear that it kills whatever that you're going against. You're killing it with comparison. Mm-hmm. I don't believe people should use comparison ever, because you compare one thing to something else. Obviously, this highlighter can't do what this pen can do, but you compare these two, you're killing one of them, going, oh, the pen can't do it. You're shooting it down. Yeah. And that's what I did to myself. I shot myself down going, oh shit, it ain't coming like I was with them. Everything was good. The checks was good. The everything, the per diem, I miss it. I missed that. Mm-hmm. And I was getting ready to bow down. And if I didn't listen to that voicemail, who knows what happened? But I'm glad I did, man, because I sounded so pussy that some people need to do that. A self-assessment. Right. Self-assess yourself and be like, I'm being pussy. Like, be real with yourself. Be like, yo, I'm not doing this because I'm not committing to it. Look, if you're looking for some type of reward before you do anything you failed already. Mm-hmm. If you're not doing this shit for free because you love it, you ain't gonna make it. I'm just being real. When we go to work and we get a job, they don't pay us for that first 2 weeks. We work for free, but because we trust somebody else, you have to believe in yourself the same way. And with yourself, it may be a year that you're in the red. It may be 2 years that you're in the red, but you have to trust in yourself and be like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna work for free. I'm gonna do whatever you got to do. Look at Jeff Bezos, man. He started 94. He just started making money. I think he said for the first 10 or 20 years, he didn't make no money, man.
Yeah.
He didn't make not a dime. He just started making money. He kept telling the investors, trust in the long term.
Right.
That was the no fear mentality right there for you. Telling your investors, they're putting up millions and billions of dollars, and you're telling them, trust in the long term. You know what I'm saying? So that right there alone tells you that if you have your mind set on something that you're going to win, and you're not thinking about the fears, you're not thinking about those the threats of what comes behind that fear, you're going to win, man.
Yeah.
So,
and all of that you're saying, it leads to this quote. Everything that you've ever wanted lives on the other side of fear. That tells you that once you get past that fear, everything is open to you. Everything is open to you. And then you look back and you're like, why was that even a fear? Why did I even doubt myself? And you know, that like you just told your story, it brought back a story to me. But I learned about fear and overcoming fear when I was young, man. I had to be like, I think I was 11 or 12 years old. I was playing football back in the day. You know, I don't know, you might not remember how much of a football nut I was.
I remember you. Yeah.
You know, I think your brother's still telling stories about me. But yeah, it got to the point in the league that I used to play in that the other coaches got together, even though I was in the right age group. You know, I think it was like 11 to 13. I can't remember, but it was like 11 to 13 or whatever. Even though I was in the right age group, they got together and banded together to say it was unfair for me to be playing in my age group. So my coach bowed down and he told me that I had to move to the next age group, even though I was in the right age group.
Right.
He told me I had to move to the next age group, which was, I think, like playing with the 14 to 17-year-old.
Because you were bigger. You were a bigger guy.
Nah, I'm gonna be a little modest right now. I was good. I was good back then, yo.
Right.
But anyway, and I tell this story to my kids. I tell it to when I'm talking in front of youth and stuff. But when he told me that, I was ready to give up football because of the fear of playing with those bigger guys.
Right.
You know, so when he told me, he said he even though he told me I had to go to the next age group,
but I
think our age group practice was on I can't remember the day of the week, but the bigger group was on the other day of the week. And even though he told me you got to move to the next age group, I still showed up to practice thinking like, oh, coach ain't going to remember. He ain't going to remember. He told me, you get out of there. You got to go to the other practice. Right. Yo, when I tell you and I'm going to be honest with you, the first 2 or 3 practices, I can't remember, but it was 2 or 3 practices that I went. I said, you know what? I'm going to go. But then that fear took a hold of me when I saw them older kids out on the field.
Right.
Got all my equipment on. I'm hiding in the bushes.
Yo,
I never set my foot on that field those first 2 days. I hid in the bushes and watched. But you know what? My desire to play football, because I'm like, I can't play with the kids my age, and I'm not playing now, but my desire to play football was so much greater than the fear that I had of playing with them kids that I was like, fuck this. I'm going out there. Whatever happens.
Right.
I'm going out there. And yo, the rest is history.
Right. Nah. Man, I heard stories, man, about all kinds of shit. Back when you used to play.
And I didn't know it at the time, but you know, that led me learning how to overcome fear at that early age. It led to other things, some crazy stuff. I mean, like, you know, a quick story. Me and my cousin used to go to high school in the Bronx.
Yeah.
We were cousins. We hung out together all the time, but we was also crazy competitive with each other. So because my competitive was so much greater, I didn't fear nothing back then. I didn't have any fear. We used to ride on, you remember on the 1 train?
Mm-hmm.
When the 1 train comes out the tunnel, like at 200 and...
Yeah, you ride on the back of the shit.
Yeah. No, we used to ride, when we was coming from school from 225th Street, we used to call it train surfing. We used to get on top of the train and ride the train to the tunnel and see who can stay in the longest stay on top the longest before the train went into the tunnel.
Shit, see, we were crazy as shit. Yo, imagine you catch a kid doing that now.
You won't.
Right? No, you won't. Right? You're right. You won't. You're probably right.
You know, because they've been coddled so much. You know, they not even going to do something like that.
Right.
You know, but yeah, overcoming fears is one of the most liberating experiences.
Liberating. That's a good word.
You know, and not only that, but a lot of times overcoming your fear can also actually show you what your strength or your purpose is also. You know, you may have a fear, but like I said again from the beginning earlier, sometimes those fears are fears of your greatness.
Right.
You know, and by that fear is put there by someone or something to basically hold you back. Well, and once you overcome that fear, now you're starting to see your greatness. Now you're like, oh shit, I'm good at this. Damn, this shit ain't nothing. I'm good. I'm actually good at this.
Right.
You become the best. That's just like, I mean, perfect example is when I was in sales, you know, but I hated talking to people. I feared talking to people on the phone.
Right.
You know, being afraid of talking to people on the phone ain't a good mix if you in sales. Because you gotta use the phone. You gotta use the phone.
Hey, see, I want to hear your story, but I want to say this so we can go into that story, what you're talking about with the phone. So it brings us into our next one, that what you're talking about is the fear of self, the feelings of being inadequate.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, go ahead with the story. Yeah.
So so look, I needed the job then. Let's just say that I needed this job. It wasn't no options for me. I had to do well at this job.
Right.
But like I said, sales and not being willing to talk on the phone just ain't a good mix. So I sat down with myself and I was like, look, I know I could do this job. I got everything else but the phone talking. And I sat down. Right. I sat down and I just went at it. I used to call family members and be like, yo, I just got to practice this on you just so I could get good at you. And that's another thing of what some fear is. Some fear is just a lack of confidence.
That's
You know? And once you build up that confidence, that fear goes away.
That's the fear of self, of being inadequate. That's
exactly.
it. You
got to do the little things necessary to build up that confidence so you don't have that feeling of inadequacy. You don't have that feeling that you're not going to be able to do this. But sometimes it just takes steps to get you there.
Right.
You know, bottom line, once I hit the phones, piece of cake.
But the thing,
number one salesman in our district, number one salesman in our region. Oh shit, you know, youngest district field trainer in the region, youngest district manager in the region, all because I overcame that fear.
Yeah, right.
Like I said, a lot of times once you overcome that fear, you learn your strength.
I agree.
You learn your strength.
I agree, man. That's and talking about strength, man, that's if you compared working out to fear, like to gain your strength and overcome a fear, it's like what we're in a gym for, to work and weaken that muscle, that we're wanting to bring stress to that muscle. You know what I mean? To stress it. And we're stressing the muscle out so we can get stronger. And that's what fear does. It stresses you. You have to stress that, get to a place that you go, okay. And honestly, I think I did so many different episodes of things I feared, just like your stories, you know, with different situations. Honestly, fear, man, is you're always going to have a fear of something, but it's courage that is going to keep pushing you through it. Mm-hmm. It's not that you're not going to be afraid and go, damn, that shit is high as shit. And then you're going to get up there. If you're courageous, you're going to get up there. You know what I mean? You're going to be like, yo, I'm doing that.
Yeah.
And it's because you're confident, like you said, you know what I mean? That feeling of self, that self-confidence, that self-esteem, that self-worth, that value that you have. And that's really important, man. That feeling, that just feeling great about yourself helps you do a lot of shit. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times people cheat themselves out of living happily because they don't feel good about themselves. You know what I mean? They feel inadequate. They feel less. They don't feel as worth like somebody else. So they take a lot of crap, even in relationships. People take shit that they shouldn't be dealing with. People take jobs that they shouldn't be at because they don't feel valued themselves. You know what I mean? Because maybe some shit that happened when they were young. So they just feel like maybe I should just hide in the back or whatever it is, man. But look, if you step out here and you work on yourself, at first you have to be real with yourself. Like we're on, like we tell you, real and unapologetic. We're not apologizing for shit we say. You have to break yourself down and chew yourself up. Before somebody else does it, you chew the shit out of yourself.
Yeah.
You got to beat yourself up. And you remember that movie? I say that, beat yourself. The movie Liar Liar with your boy Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
He's kicking his fucking ass in the bathroom. And then the dude walks in and goes, man, what are you doing? He goes, I'm kicking my ass. You have to kick your ass, man. I believe that. You got to kick your ass. That's what's going to make you move and want greater and want better. And you're not going to see that fear. Just like you said with the phone calls. And it was a part of the studying because you was like, yo, let me try it on you. Let me do this to build that confidence up.
Right.
So you had the study. So without another thing, with lack of information, it's going to keep you fucking held back. It's going to keep that fear there because you don't have the information in order to move forward. So you need instruction to be able to go, okay, go move ahead. It's like the fucking car wash. It tells you, boom, put it in neutral. If not, you're going to end up fucking the car up, fucking the car wash. You need instruction to make things move smoothly. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
fear, man. We're gonna roll into, that right there was fear of self and the feelings of being inadequate. So the next one is the fear of man. This is when we fear what others might think of us or what they might say after we fuck up, or just when we walk into somewhere, or just our skin complexion, we fear man.
Mm-hmm.
Have you had any situations where you've ever, I'm gonna say, I don't know about you, but the family I come from, they taught me to look at motherfuckers in their eyes. So we never could fear man.
Right.
Honestly. So I never had that issue I didn't give a shit about what other people thought. You know what I'm saying? It was like, I'm doing this shit anyway. That's where that craziness comes in. They used to call me, I used to work at this job at a rehabilitation center back in the days, and they would call me Crazy Sharif because I just say what the fuck I wanted to say. I would just be like, if I wanted to say, it could be the director there, the whoever was in the room, I'm saying this shit.
Exactly. And I'm glad you brought that up because that being raised by a tough family pays off,
right,
in corporate America. Now, I'm not recommending everybody do what I did because I took a chance, but there was an instance one time, and I'm not going to say the company, but me and another supervisor, we kind of fucked up.
Right.
So our district manager called us to his office, had us in his office, and it kind of reminded me of being in the principal's office, but this nigga was pushing it to the extremes, man. He's sitting there. He called us to this office. We sitting there for like 15 minutes, just sitting in front of his desk. And he not saying nothing. He writing on papers, doing all kinds of other busy work on his desk.
That Top Gun moment, with Tom Cruise.
He not even saying nothing to us, right? So then bottom line, he was like, well, I spoke up. I was like, yo, I got stuff I could be doing. And the other supervisor looks at me like, what? He looked at me like, what are you doing? I was like, look, I got other stuff I could be doing to get through with my day. I said, if you got something to say to me, let's go. Tell me what you need. What am I here for? Right. And the other supervisor, he starts sweating. And I'm like, so then we bottom line, he looks up and he's like, blah, blah, this. Y'all didn't do this. This is what happened because y'all didn't do this. Da, da, da. We made it clear that this needed to be done today. Da, 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 da. Whatever. I was like, okay. I'm like understanding, right? And so I told him, I said, all of that is, yes, I understand that, but that doesn't, I'm not a kid. I'm a man just like you. Okay, you don't come in, you don't bring me in here and treat me like a kid. By looking over at the other suit, he ready to run out the room now. I said, you don't treat me like a kid. I'm a man just like you. And then he said, well, I just don't like the fact that y'all were giving instructions and they weren't carried out. And he said, what am I going to have to do? Am I going to have to threaten your job for you to get this done? Oh shit, oh Rif, yo. I stood up in front of his desk and I said, look, let me tell you one thing. And I want you to understand this. Okay. Number one, you're going to treat me like a man just like you are. I don't give a fuck about your position. Yes, you're my boss, but that doesn't give you the right to treat me like I'm a child in kindergarten sitting in front of the principal. And number two, you can't threaten my job because let's get this clear. I'm here because I want to be. And when that changes, I'm out and there ain't nothing you can do about it. So if you're going to fire me over this shit, fire me now so I can move on with my day. But other than that, I am here because I want to be here.
Right.
Remember that. You can't get my job. That's just what he did. He just sat back and was like, okay, we can end this meeting. And then he started talking to the other guy. He said, you can leave, but I need to talk to him.
Right.
Never had a problem with him after that.
That's
because I was taught, you a man just like me, regardless of your position.
Right. You're
gonna treat me like a man, not like I'm below you or whatever. You're gonna treat me like a man. And that's the way it's always been, man.
And that's how it should always remain. You know why? Because that goes back to feeling inadequate because a person doesn't know, that goes back to that other fear, just the feeling of self, feeling inadequate. And the threat behind that. But the fact that you stood up and you were courageous enough to say what you said and you knew yourself, the value and your self-worth, nothing could stop you. You was unstoppable at that moment.
Yeah, but don't get it twisted. I was scared.
I know you were scared, but
but like I tell the youth that I speak to sometimes, everybody gets scared.
Everybody gets scared. Right.
The only difference is what you do with that fear. Either you control the fear or you let the fear control you.
Nah, real shit, bro.
That's what I tell them. There's two meanings or two. The word fear can be broken down into two acronyms. First one is fear everything and run, or face everything and rise. The choice is yours.
Right.
Those are the only things you can do with fear. You face it and become stronger, or you fear it and let it hold you back. That's it.
Right. Which a lot of people are allowing to go down, man. And that's the thing. Just like you said, you know what I mean? It's that fight or flight mentality. You know what I'm saying? That sink or swim. And that's how I honestly, I base everything off of sink or swim. You're going to throw yourself in this goddamn thing. Either you're going to drown or you're going to survive. It's one or the other. But you can't just sit on the fucking beach and think that you're going to get to the other side. It ain't going to happen. Ain't nobody going to come pick you up in a nice fucking boat and put you on a yacht after they done worked hard to get this yacht. They're not doing that shit. It don't work that way. And I know everybody like to think like, hey, look at these celebs. They got here. This person got here. You didn't see behind the scenes. People have to work really hard. Jeff Bezos didn't just become Jeff Bezos overnight. He started that shit in the same office with a little piece of paper on his wall, just like everybody else starts. The thing is, he had no fucking fear. Meaning was he scared at times? I'm sure when he walked in the boardrooms to ask investors for billions of dollars. I'm sure he was afraid. But the fact was, I'm not allowing this to, like you said this when you was talking about playing football. Your desire has to overpower that fear. Your desire for whatever it is that you want, it has to overpower it. And if it doesn't, that's where you're falling short at. Fear is it's going to be there. It's going to exist if you allow it to exist. It's going to be there if that's how you're thinking, and and that's your, that's your mindset. If it's based off of just having a fearful, thought process. If everything you think about, damn, should I go? It's raining out. If you gotta say that shit, if you want some KFC and you go, damn, it's raining now, that shit don't mean shit. Like if you have to say that, your thought process is a little jacked up and it's a little fearful because you're kind of creating an excuse of trying to stay back. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, y'all want some KFC? Yeah, what you want? I saw I'm on. Yo, what you want? You want the coleslaw? You want this? I'm gonna get 2 large ones or whatever. Rain, sleet, or snow. That's how we were brought up. We had to go to the grocery shop and nobody gave a shit about, was it cold out? Was it raining? Nope. Did you have snow boots?
No.
My mom didn't never go, hey, I want you to go to the store. Oh, wait, you don't got your snow jacket? No.
Nope. Just
get up and go to the store. That's it. Snowing or not. You walking in this fucking 6 feet. I mean, listen, like you said, that toughness definitely helped. It strengthened us because there's a lot of shit I don't see like everybody else that's seeing, like in this era, the way that they're seeing things, I don't see it the same way. And I guess it's because of how we were raised. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Shit, I be looking at shit and I'm like, why did they do that? Well, why are they afraid of this? Or why? And I get it. Everybody's not brought up the same, but these are the things that you got to face. So you got to go back. Let's just go back from the beginning. Fear of God is just gaining and understanding and being wise. And understanding what it is that you're taking on. Fear of danger. This is when you face threats, any threat of any kind. So tackle that, figure out what the threat is and tackle it at that moment. Then we go down, we're at fear of self, the feelings of being inadequate. Know your value, know your self-worth, know who the hell you are. Stop being afraid. Stop letting people tell you who you are. You define yourself. What Jay-Z said, I define myself. You design yourself. Design yourself. That's it. Now we're up to fear of man and what others think, right? And now we're just leaving that and we're going into spirit of fear, the external fear, the fear of the shit that doesn't even touch you, but because people may be talking about you negatively or your boss, you may be hearing chit chat or you're not even near them, but because they're doing this in a huddle and they're looking back, you automatically go, what the fuck I do? You don't know if they talking about you. They might have just happened to look because they heard your foot, you know what I mean? Your shoes and shit. And then you've already doubting like, oh shit, they might be talking about me. And if you feel that, stop doing fucked up shit. Meaning that's the shit. It's an internal situation. The things that are happening external is because internally you think that shit matches up with what your actions are. You know what I mean? Like, damn, I didn't fucking finish that truckload. I didn't fucking, put that cable in there. Then do the shit. Then that way you can walk in confident, like, they ain't fucking talking about me. I'm good. But if you go, oh shit, they fucking over there in the huddle. Damn, fuck, I should have put that shit. Let me see the keys. Let me try to go. Just finish that shit right then, man. And that's what I feel about the external, that spirit of evil and on the other hand, when it comes to people talking about you, this is what I say. Don't give a fuck about what others think.
Yeah.
Don't give a shit about them, honestly. They're not going to take care of you. They're not getting in the casket with you. You know what I mean? So the people, I say it like this, the people that are talking about you, and this is real shit, it's cold-blooded, are going to be the same people that's going to make your funeral arrangements and, come and all this shit. You can't stand there, man, and give a shit. You got to live your life. That's when people should have control of you, when you no longer have control. When it's time for funeral arrangements, everybody can do whatever. He likes green jeans. He put him on a hat, whatever. But while I'm living, you ain't saying shit. You know what I'm saying? That's it.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that? The external fear.
I feel the same way. You can't let what other people think about you is not your problem.
Right.
That's the way you got to look at it. I don't give a shit what people think about me. I really don't.
Right.
If you say what you want, I'm gonna do what fits me. I'm gonna do what's going to keep me making sure that I attain my goals.
Right.
Whether you like it or not, whether you like how hard driving I am, whatever. I don't give a shit what you think. And you know, my daughter's gonna be mad that I brought this up, but one day she came out of her room crazy upset one day. Crazy upset. I'm like, what's the matter? What's the matter? Right. Well, I made a comment online and somebody got upset and they started coming at me hard. And I was like, not dismissing her feelings, but I wanted her to understand how silly that was. I was like, do you know this person?
Right.
No. Have you met this person? No. What is this person? I don't know. But you letting what they said to you over the internet get to you?
Right.
Isn't that a little you don't know this person?
It's because this is why you should never attach yourself to anything outside of you. You know what I'm saying? So you're her dad, she's attached to you. Her brother, she's attached. Her family, that's attachment. But people that have that you don't give a shit about them. They have this you shouldn't attach yourself to. And this is what a lot of the kids in this era is doing. They're attached. Mm-hmm. Those likes actually mean something to them. Those likes mean like when you get 5,000 likes, it's like, yo, I'm somebody. It's like, no, you're not. You know what I mean? It really doesn't fucking matter. At the end of the day,
it doesn't. And they just I'm gonna do this for a like. What? You doing this for a like?
Right.
I'm gonna say this for a like. What? Look, that's why I am rarely on social media.
Right.
You know what? Facebook used to be good back in the day because you could keep up with family now, but now it's a whole different ball game now. I don't even mess with it, man. That's a whole nother show. But
that's a whole nother show, right? But
these kids are obsessed with it now.
Yeah, the attachment factor.
Absolutely nothing. It means absolutely nothing, man.
But they're attached. That's the reason why they fear whatever's think, because they're looking for the approval from outside them. That's the external fear. They're looking for the approval. Like, yo, look, if I do this, I'm gonna get motherfuckers gonna laugh, and if nobody laugh, you know what I mean? They go, oh, I guess I'm not funny then. Mm-hmm. I guess I'm not a funny person. Maybe I'm really not funny. So then that's how they start identifying with themselves. Like, I'm not funny, or whatever. That's what they start saying to themselves. Then it comes to something else, and that shit carries on, man. And that's why you cannot be attached to that social media. You cannot be attached to what other people think. You got to stay in your position, man. I don't give a shit, even if you're wrong.
Yeah.
At that moment, you might be wrong, but you still got to stand your shit and be like, you know what? I fucked up, but that's my fuck up.
If that's what you believe, you got to be willing to stand your ground.
Right. Stand your
ground.
Take
the consequences for that belief.
Right.
Bottom line, that's what it is. If you're going to change your position every time somebody either give you more likes or less likes, you ain't about it. You don't even know who you are because you flip-flopping so much. You doing whatever whatever's popular now.
Right.
But if you stand your ground, number one, you get a lot more respect. People trust you more because they know, yo, this is where he is. He's rock steady. He's straightforward.
Right.
But you don't know who to believe anymore, man.
You flip flop. That's why I call them flip flop with they shit. You know, like flip flops me when you walk, like flop. That's how people are. Fucking all just 1 minute they like this. That's why, man, you have to be. You can't. I just said can't be attached to anything else but you, and what's in your circle and what you choose. So another motherfucker opinion of you, they don't like your jean suit, they don't like your jeans. Fuck them. That's it. That's how simple it is, and that's what I have to say. There's not really anything we can really dive into and be like, hey, dude, no, just fuck them. Just anything outside of you, external fear, any type of shit, fuck them. They have nothing to do with you. That's it. Don't include them in your thought process. Don't include them when you wake up in the morning. You don't include that kind of shit in you. You don't go, I got to make a decision. Let me call and see what my followers think. No, you don't do that shit. That's not how it works, man. I get it, man. I get it. So yeah, this is the part of the show. Yesterday was a crazy day. It was busy, and today is still. That's why I wanted to change our whole schedule up with us meeting up. But what we have, what we're gonna do is review a product, new products, and then it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's somebody building a car, a motorcycle, some furniture, whatever. But we had C go out and check out, some new product, and we're gonna have him do his review on this product, and then we're gonna continue on the second segment of the topic of fear and what fear is. So, C, we ready for you.
Now, everybody who knows me knows I'm a foodie. If that shit said, if I go into the supermarket and that shit says new on it, I'm trying it. My kids will tell you, my family will tell you, everybody will tell you, all you got to do to get his attention is put new on it. He gonna buy it. Right. Yeah, but this one has actually come from the hood. If everybody from the hood back in the day, there used to be these, like, I don't want to, put an ethnicity on them, that's wrong, but there's like Hispanic old ladies that used to walk around with the cart, and they used to grill the corn on the cart, and they used to put all these seasonings on it and butter, and they used to hook it up. They would sprinkle some, I don't even know what kind of cheese it was, but that shit was the bomb. You hear the lady with her little bells coming down the street. It's corn, yeah, but that was some good ass corn. Right. So of course I was in the store the other day, and this was a couple of weeks ago actually, and I was like, oh man, they got this. Let me try this. And it's called, I don't know if y'all can see that, but it's called. Yeah,
you know what? Put it right there. Now, pull it back some. Right there. There you go. Yeah, we see that.
This joint. Yeah. When I tell you,
hers corn.
Yeah. When I tell you this joint tastes like the little Hispanic lady selling that joint on the cart, dude, I'm hooked on it, man.
Which stores? I know Target. Because I looked into it. I know Target sells it. What else? Where did you get it?
Dude, I went straight to Jeff Bezos. I got the 9 big bags.
Jeff Bezos. Right. That's the dude.
I went, of course. He got it like that. That's the first place I go to look.
Right. No, you're right.
If I can't find it in my neighborhood, he ain't let me down yet.
Right, Jeff Bezos. You heard it from C.
Even right. My son said, they put something on this. This is good, man.
What's the flavor like though? What's the flavor like?
I can't. The only way I can explain the flavor is just
popcorn.
Like it's like corn. But it tastes like you eating the corn off the cob.
Okay.
The way they used to season it back in the day, they used to sprinkle that cheese on it. Sometimes they used to put a little mayonnaise on it, and I don't even know what kind of seasonings it is. But man, they came up with something this time, man. That's my go-to snack now. Ain't a lot of calories in it, not a lot of sodium. That's the snack for me now, man.
All right, so you heard it here on the Real and Unapologetic Podcast. The snack of the day and the review of the day and the product of the day is her. It's called her, right?
That's right. Hers fire roasted sweet corn.
Sweet corn, right. Let's see that one more time right there. There we go. Yep. You guys see that? Check that out. Go to Jeff Bezos, which is Amazon.com or Target. I seen it at Target too, so you guys can check it. I think it's like on Target. I seen it was like $3 something a bag. Yeah. I don't know how much is it on Amazon?
It was so good. I didn't even look at the price. I just ordered it, man.
So that's how good it is. You don't even got to look at the price. Good it is. That's when you know something's real good, though. For real, you don't look at the price of the shit.
Yep.
All right. So let's we're gonna roll into we're gonna give you guys some examples on overcoming fear, and you heard them through the segment of how fear helped our life. With me, leaving corporate and then leaving that voicemail, then hearing the voicemail back. And, that changed my life. That was life changing right there. And C, when he talked about, being, playing with the, what was it, 9, 11-year-olds. And then you had to move up to the 14-year-olds.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, the thing is, man, you got to remember this is that wherever you at right now, and this is why I had actually wrote this down. Remember what you wanted, what you currently have. Whatever you did to get to that level, just remember whatever you did. Remember all the things that you had to go through, the things you were afraid of just to get to that level, whether it was college, school, you had 4 years, or whatever, high school, to get to that level. You had to face those. There were fears that you had, and there was adversity that you had to deal with. A lot of times, people are afraid of adversity as well. They're afraid of just facing that hardship. You know what I'm saying? So they run. But you got to remember what you wanted. Is what that you currently have. You what you have right now. You wanted years ago, but you got there. Now just think about this. You have to be able to think about this. Put yourself into the future, but not negatively. Don't think about like, oh, I'm afraid of heights. Think about, I'm gonna reach here. And I remember you see telling me that Jeff Bezos spoke on the camera. He was like, yo, what does Amazon see himself in the future? He was like, we doing everything. You know what I'm saying? He spoke that, right,
for everything.
Right. So he spoke that into existence, man, and that's what this is all about, man. So yeah. So now let's go into, man. I was looking up fears, right, man, and so you got the most common are fear of darkness, fear of heights, fear of flying, fear of pain, fear of open spaces or crowds, fear of needles or pointed objects, fear of riding in cars, the fear of man, and then fear of like dating or whatever. But it's the same thing like fear of man or whatever. So those are the most common fears that people face.
I think they left off one big one though.
Which one?
I think fear of death.
Hey, yeah. Right. Right. That's real. And hey, you ever got into, now these shits got some weird names. I was going to pull up, Google or whatever, but you got arachnophobia, which is a fear of spiders. Then you got the fear of snakes, which is ophidiophobia, something like that. It's some crazy name. I mean, all of the fears have. This is how you know this shit is bullshit, because the names, they didn't even know what the fucking spell. They were just like, put some shit. Hey, the fear of spiders. Call it what? Okadobia, Obawakanobia. You know what I mean? Like, shit. Why couldn't you be? If something was real, it would be simple. Simplicity is always real. You know what I'm saying? It's like, this shit gotta be just made up shit, because it's just a name that you'll never be able to remember or spell, if that. Like, yeah, but like, social phobias, that's simple right there. And I see people having issues with that because they're caring about too many other people, man. So let's go into this right here. I got this. We want to go into this right here. Let me see. Let me get these going to my. All right. Where we at on this? All right, here we go. Now I want you guys to go through this exercise with me and see. I'm gonna ask the questions and we're gonna talk about them. And you ask yourself these questions as well. So one is, and this is to help to evaluate if you have, fear, which also brings on anxiety and leads to so much other shit that people be thinking, that you have hospitals thinking you're crazy because you allow this fear to get so big and so deep that it takes over the actual true you. So let's ask this. You have panic attacks for no apparent reason. See, have you ever had a panic attack for no reason?
No, I can honestly say I haven't. No.
No. I mean, I've never had a panic attack. I've had a relationship issue one time, for real shit. Stressed me out when I almost had. I don't think that's a panic attack. I think it was more like a nervous. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. What they call nervous breakdown with some shit. But you get stressed out to a point where somebody constantly says something. So then it says, are you afraid of having a panic attack? Are you?
No, No, I mean, but that's kind of like, I wouldn't say it's a fear of the panic attack, but it's because I've never had one, so I wouldn't know what to be afraid of. You know,
Right. Real
might
shit.
be a fear of afraid of the unknown, of what it might feel like or what it might do. But no, other than that, no. Honestly, I don't even think about it.
Nah, nah. You're right. That's I mean, but you don't. Well, let me say it like this. There's a lot of people that do.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, I've been around people and they're like, man, why you're like this? And it's like, listen, I honestly just don't give a shit. And first, you have to believe in yourself more than anything else. That's more than the media, more than the politics, more than the government, more than everything. You have to believe in you first.
Mm-hmm.
And you won't even you be questioning yourself about any of these fucking things. Some of them I'm gonna go over because some of it, let me see. You ever said no instead of following? Like, yeah, I know people who have that shit. You have extreme, uncontrollable worry about multiple concerns and situations like finances, health, employment, family, being late. If this is your ass, extreme, uncontrollable worry about shit, get your shit together. That's yo, cuz if you worried about health,
speaking facts.
For real, but look, if you're worried about finances, you got to take on 2 more jobs or whatever you fucking got to do. That's the answer to that. If it's health, stop eating the way you're eating and then take your ass to the gym. Go for walks. There's no excuse. You can go for walks. That's free. If you be like, oh, the gym costs too much. No, that's bullshit. Go for a walk. Jump ropes are like $10 on Jeff Bezos, Amazon.com. You got that. You can get a jump rope. There's shit to do to answer and help you, man. Employment, that goes in along with get another job, like honestly. And if you need help, reach out, man. Reach out. You can reach out to the email, realunapologetic@gmail.com, or you can hit us up on the video, comment, whatever you need some direction. We'll definitely help, man, and help direct you. We with it. We with helping others. And man.
And just to go back on, you know, I understand anxiety is a real problem, you know, and
a lot of people deal with that.
But I mean, to me, I like to break stuff down to the simplest. With you being anxious about something, you're worrying about something that doesn't exist yet. Right. And I'm not trying to minimize it because I know it's a real problem for people, but that's how I look at it. You're worried about something that hasn't happened yet. And to me, that's it's hard for me to understand that you're bringing fear into your life on something that hasn't happened. It's not like you know, the threat is imminent, like it's standing there in front of you. You're like, this might happen 6 months from now. This might happen 10 months from now. Don't do that to yourself. It's not a problem until it's a problem.
That's you heard it here. It's not a problem until it's a problem. That's real shit right there. It's not. This is another, you know, that this question goes, you believe that it's best to prepare yourself for the worst at all times. I don't believe that shit. You don't got to prepare yourself for the worst when, what the fuck is the worst? Like, why are you prepared? And listen, I get it. Always, to me, this is how I look at it. You stay ready, you stay prepared, you don't got to worry about shit. You stay ready, you stay prepared. And whatever that means, whatever that entails for you, you know, if it's work, if it's savings, if you don't know if you're unsure about a job, that means start putting some checks away so then that way you're not living from check to check. If that's your issue or whatever it is, if you got to prepare for the worst times, definitely prepare for hardships, but don't fucking trick yourself into going, damn, you know, times are always fucking gonna be hard. I know people who think like that, man. And sometimes I wish I could just get in their bodies, like Whoopi did, goddamn it, Ghost. You know what I mean? And just like, for real, jump in their body and be like, yo, snap the fuck out of it. Like, because they're always thinking about the worst shit to come instead of thinking like, you know, what if it's a good day tomorrow? And to me, today, when you live in the present, it prepares you for the best of tomorrow. When you live in the present, but if you try to live in the future, you can't. You got to live today and just be like, yo, this is the fucking best day. So when people ask me, they'll go, yo, how's your day? They'll comment for me and be like, oh, it's great, right? Because I go, it's a great day. Because to me, having fucking a workload that just, you got a busy day, that's fucking good when it comes to business. You don't want to fucking, because it'll be a problem if you didn't get a phone call.
Mm-hmm.
So how is that a bad day? Like when you go, oh, it's a hectic day. That's a fucking great day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So to me, stop complaining. I'm not minimizing shit because I know you said that too, see. But I think people over fucking complain. Oh, complaining is overrated. They complain about the shit that just doesn't matter. Like, yo, a bad day to me. Let me explain why let me say it like this. This is a fucking bad day. I see some nuclear shit coming and it's wiping every fucking thing out. And I see it just burning fucking down. It's a wrap. You know what I mean? Now that's a bad day because I'm never gonna remember this shit. And that's it. And then I won't be able to finish all the things that I want to do. So that's what I'm gonna think about. Like, damn, my money. You know what I mean? Like the fucking shit I'm building over here.
I'm not finished.
I'm finished, right?
I'm not finished. Wait, I got more to do. This can't be happening.
Right. That's a bad day. But if you wake up and man, listen, man, sore throat, whatever, something going on in the family, understand that things happen in life, man, and you don't have any control of some shit. Some shit is just you don't, and you can't fault yourself for it. So don't call your day a bad day because of situations that are out of your control, that are external to you. Even when it comes to you, if you have something with health, and I had a friend, man, and I'm sure they'll be cool with me saying this, and they had cancer, but they called me and I would give it to them straight up, man. They had been to doctors, and I got a couple friends like that. They've been to doctors, they've been to pastors, and I was the one to like get them over a lot of shit. And a couple friends like that, because I just gave it to them real. I was just real with them. I was like, look, either it's gonna beat you because you gonna let it beat you, meaning it's gonna beat you because you're gonna let it beat you. And I know it's something hard to face, and people gonna be like, yo, how can you say this? The thing is this is why. Because at the end of the day, I believe if you have a strong enough faith, I truly believe this. If you have a strong enough faith, you can fucking beat just about anything. And if it's your time to go, that's the reason why you can't fear death.
Exactly.
I don't fear death, man. And that's probably why I did a lot of crazy shit, because I wasn't afraid, man. I'm not gonna be worried about dying when I'm so happy with living, man. I can't focus on the two. So you have to figure out, you know what I'm saying? You got to figure out which one you're going to choose. Like, yo, you going to be happy living or you going to be worrying about dying? Yeah. You can't do both at the fucking same time, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. And like you said, I do not fear death. Do I want to die right now? No, absolutely not. Because I got a lot more that I want to do. But do I fear dying? No. And I think one of the reasons why I fear dying is because I think of things on its simplest terms. You know, think about death like this. Well, number one, you can't get out of life alive. It's a process.
Right.
You're born and you die. But just think about it like this. When you're first born, you've already started the process of dying.
Yeah.
You just don't know when. When you're born, as soon as you come out and you take that first breath, you've already started the process of dying, because it's something that's always going to happen, no matter what. You just don't know when it's going to be. You don't know how it's going to be, but you know that it's a process in life. There is nobody who has lived forever. That's just the way it is. You're born, you go through a period, and then you die. That's it. Once you look at it like that, I think you shouldn't fear it, because it's part of the process. And what do they always tell you? Trust the process.
Right now, trust the process. And I think it's people afraid of the unknown. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
They're afraid of the unknown. And that's, this is off topic, but that's why white America, Asians, black African Americans. I'm not afraid of nobody, but why others are afraid? Because they're afraid of the unknown. They don't know that group of people. You know what I'm saying? So they're that fear, man. And that's the thing, man. Information is an asset. You don't know some shit, learn about it. That means if you got to get with your white friends and your white boss or your whoever date you a white girl, listen, do whatever you got to do to understand people so you don't have to fear them. Because at the end of the day, you're going to see that people are just like us. They fart, they bleed, they shit. They do all the same shit. Yeah. It's just the skin complexion, man. That's it.
That's it.
And once you get over that shit and you go, and honestly, man, I believe this shit too. This is like this. I'm gonna throw a little couple things off topic so that maybe this can be another topic. But black privilege. There is a such thing called black privilege. I believe that we have that privilege, but we don't take advantage of it. We have a lot of shit in our favor that we sold.
Okay.
Our music, as far as our music, when it comes to everything we created, like when it comes down to, you got to look at this. We were the originators, like jazz. Then they took the horns and shit from us, because they feared us creating, being able to create more. And then what did we do? We started creating break beats. We took a record player, the only thing we had, and made fucking music off of that. We are forever innovative. We innovate all the time, man. We have a privilege, but we keep, every time we get something good, I believe we sell it. The fear, that's, like I said, another fear, a fear of it not becoming and reaching the heights of another races if they did it. Mm-hmm. We have to stop thinking like that. We have to believe in our shit. And our shit is just as good as Jeff Bezos. We start an Amazon too, whatever, it's just as good. We can do the same thing. We have to be as dedicated. We have to be as, what's the word? As relentless. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? We have to be as relentless. You have to have an incredible work ethic and willing to outwork fucking anybody that comes your way. So I believe, again, we'll talk about that. That'll be another topic. Come back to that, but we're gonna finish this segment up about fear. But remember, we're gonna talk about that black privilege.
Yeah. And let me just say this before.
No, we ain't going out. We ain't going out.
Yeah, it's definitely. And then this is going back to fear, but you have to realize that white people do have a fear of us, not only because they do not know us, but because of our track record. Okay, we have proven time and time again that when the playing field is level, we as black people come in and kick ass, and that is their fear. Everything that we've done, when they first let black people into baseball, what did we do? We came in and took over the sport. When they let black people come into playing football, what did we do? We took over the sport. That's what they fear. They are fighting for their lives. They are fighting to prevent their extinction. Okay? And that is a major fear. They won't admit it. But every single time, Rif, every single time, you find me one time where the playing field wasn't level that we didn't come in and kick ass.
No, we always kicked ass, but that's why we got to talk about that black privilege, because I believe we have privileges that we don't. It's not a privilege because we don't stand. We don't stand on it. You know what I mean? We don't stand by it. We don't. We just go. We always talk about their privilege, the white privilege, the abuse that they do. But I think if we started actually, we could have changed a lot of things, man. And like I said, this is a whole different topic, different show.
Yeah.
But if we'd have pulled back on some things, trust me, football wouldn't be what it is. Baseball, without the minorities, you don't have none of that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So if you pulled all of us,
don't. Let's say they are the minority. Worldwide, they are the minority. Okay. Right. Let's get it right. We are the majority.
We are the majority. Right.
People of color are the majority of people on this planet.
You're right. I agree. You're right.
They have it switched around, so we think otherwise. It may be that way in this country, but it's not even in this country so much anymore. That gap is getting narrower and narrower. You're going to soon have more people of color in this country than ever. So,
I agree. I agree with that. Here's one. How often do you have any of the following that you wake up trembling, twitching, feeling shaky, muscle tension, aches, or insomnia or oversleeping or whatever? Me, I don't have this shit. But bottom line is, we're not fucking doctors and shit. Listen, we're not doctors. But if you having some shit like this behind fear and all that there, listen, you're taking it. This sounds trembling, twitching, feeling shaky. You're taking it too goddamn far.
Yeah.
You're letting your mind go too far. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like if you're having this shit, muscle tension, ache, soreness, you know, you restless, and I get it because you might have a test or listen, information is key. That test, study, information. That job, you know, study, performance, information. That's all this trembling shit, man, behind fear, that you shouldn't be having all this shit. That's how I look at it. So when I see this and I'm like asking you if you have these symptoms, if you do, stop overthinking shit. Stop telling yourself, like I just said, stop telling yourself so much hateful shit. That would make anybody shake and tremble.
Yeah.
For real, what you think, Cee?
Right. It's about building that confidence. You know, if you getting ready to face something unknown, do your research. And the research is so easy now because you got access to everything. Back in the day, if I wanted to research public speaking, I had to get up, get dressed, go to the library. Yo, we got access to so much information now at our fingertips. It's ridiculous. And we don't put it to good use. And a lot of times people don't use the information that they have the right way. You know, you people wake up with a headache, and instead of looking at the most common thing, they look at the worst thing. Right. You know, and then the next thing you know, they worried about, oh shit, I got a brain tumor. You got a headache. That's the most common thing. The rarest thing is the brain tumor. So why do you think you have the rarest thing? Why?
You know why? Because they watch some shit. They watch some
Stop
shit.
looking at the worst thing all the time.
Right.
Look at the most common. Oh, it's a headache. Oh, okay. Take some aspirin. I'm good. Wait. Yes, it's on the right side of my. It says like I have a brain tumor. Oh no! And your whole shit is fucked up now because now you can't stop thinking about this brain tumor.
Right. All right. Some of these I'm gonna run through these really quick, and then we'll go in. I'm gonna go through so the lack of energy, or you have increased or decreased appetite. Or you need others to help you do things that most people can do on their own, and you need to be help. You need help, meaning you're afraid to do them by yourself, or you feel isolated. All right, now when I see all of these things, man, and I'm just being real, and I see this shit, like I look at this and like me, I'll access this, and I'll look and I'll be like, why the fuck they asking me all this stuff? This is how I look at it. Like I'm looking at real, you know what I'm saying? If I see this and I have to look at it, and I'm like. You know, and if I am dealing with all this stuff, like I said, behind fear, which bleeds into, you know, which comes from first procrastination and then all, you know, with the fear, whatever it was, and then it leads into anxiety and all this other shit, and I'm having attacks. That just tells me if I'm having all this, and I'm being real with you, I've had days that, you know, are stressful. Everybody has. And what I do, this is my solving for everything. It's either hot chocolate or some tea, good tea with some lemon, and take a nice bath, man, and relax. You know what I'm saying? Just relax and let that shit go. Let the day, you don't bring work home with you. Don't bring whatever's outside. Don't bring the internet home with you. Leave that shit. So then that way, when you come to your sanctuary, you get to kick back, chill, have some tea, relax, boom. And don't jump on the television, you know, immediately.
Yeah.
You know? Don't watch. I say don't watch the news. They feed you a bunch of bullshit. And if you are, don't just listen to one station, research. So then if it's something that's going on, research and be like, okay, so then you can have an understanding of it versus just being forced and told something like, hey, they're going to blow this shit up. And it's like, research first before you put that fear in you where you're afraid and scared, because it could be a prank. If you research and go, oh, this ain't real. You know what I'm saying? But just don't. I've seen people do that all the time, man. Send out things and, hey, they're going to do this. And it's like, chill out. Like, I don't want to read that shit like you're reading it. And then when you find out it's not real, you're not thinking it in the future. You know what I'm saying? And it eases you up.
Yeah. And, speaking on that, a lot of cats get mad at me because a lot of the time they come out with these, they send you in an email, pass this on. A friend of my cousin's sister,
I don't do that shit.
Works in the government, and they said this, and this. Pass it on. Make sure everybody hears about it. You know what? I'm gonna be honest. If you send me that shit, it's going to end with me, because I'm not passing that shit on unless I research it and be like, okay, there's some credibility to this. Maybe I might share it with a few people. But no, I'm not sending that shit out in no group, email, and whatnot. I'm not passing the fear on.
To create fear, right? To create fear.
It's unfounded.
Right.
And come on, how many, unless you're going to give me a name, unless you come up to me and say, you know what? Rif is at this place right now, and he says this is what's happening. I'm not going to believe it, right? Because everybody's going to come up with that sisters, cousins, friends, uncles, father. Come on, man.
Yeah.
Once I hear that, I'm like, get that out of my inbox.
Get that shit out of here, right? You get all kind of things like that in your inbox. Like, again, that goes back to the fear of that external fear. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. You got, that's the shit that you can't let into you. And I'm not even going to run through all these questions, man, because I see that, I'll just go break down like this, suffer from fatigue, difficulty concentrating. Do you feel tense or restless? Again, if you're feeling all this shit, you avoid situations where you'll be in the center of attention. All of this shit. Stop worrying about what other people think right here. Do you avoid situations where you be in the center of attention or forced to socialize with strangers? And if you feel that you got to avoid that, that's because you're focused and you care more about what people think than what you think about yourself. Mm-hmm. You got to stop that shit. Stop that shit, man. You wouldn't be shivering and shaking and none of this shit if you just focus on you. You know what I mean? True. If you stop worried about what Christine said about me and Doug, he thinks this of me. Listen. What do you think about you?
Exactly. That's the only thing that counts.
Right.
How you think and how you feel about yourself. That's all that counts.
That's it, man. And that's why I said I don't even want to take you guys through this whole ride, because it's about 34 questions. But as I look through them, I don't even want to embed this into anybody, any listener, and be like, oh, damn, I do got a little shit. No, you don't. We gonna kill all that shaky shit and that trembling and all that, right here on Real and Unapologetic, because we know what it's about, man. Your fear of whatever fear it is, you have to face up to it. You do. That's one thing you have to do. You have to face it, and it's okay to be scared. It's okay to say, damn, I'm a little scared, but just keep moving forward. As long as you keep moving forward, you'll be fine.
Yeah.
It's like that, the freaking roller coaster going up. It's slow as shit. And the whole time, that's why it's made that way. It's created to put that fear. So the whole time you're going, this is fucking pretty high. And then it's getting higher and higher, and it's slower and slower. Because they want you to dwell and sit there. So then the fear of you going down is even greater, and then the ride is even better. Mm-hmm. So it's a buildup, and you have to, in life, it's the same way. Things build up. If you keep putting that shit off, or you keep procrastinating, or you keep, I want to leave a job, and you don't leave a fucking job, and it's 5 years, that shit's going to build up where you're fucking afraid, and you're really afraid now because you've put it off for 5 years.
Yeah. And that's the truth right there. If the combination of procrastination and fear, is a motherfucker.
Right.
And I'm saying that because what happens is when you have a fear and you don't face it right off, you give yourself, by procrastinating and constantly putting off facing that fear, what's going to happen is you're going to constantly build up or reinforce more walls of that fear. So you might have a fear, oh, you know, I got to make this phone call to my boss because I fucked up. Okay. You didn't attack it that day. That was one wall right there. That was, you only had to bust through one wall to get that done, but you put it off to the next day. Oh, I should have called him yesterday. Now he's going to be even madder because I didn't call him yesterday. So now you put that call off again. Oh, well, I didn't, maybe I know he said he was getting ready to go on vacation. I don't want to mess up his vacation by telling him that I fucked up. So now you got to bust through 3 walls now for that first phone, when all you had to do was make the first phone call, and it would have been a lot easier. So the longer you put off facing that fear, the harder it is. It's going to be for you to conquer it.
Right.
So I got a system that seems it works for me, and I'm going to share it with y'all. But your body has a natural response to fear. You get that gut feeling, or you want to call them butterflies or whatever. Mm-hmm. Now, when most people get those butterflies, they think, I got to back away. I can't do this. I shouldn't do this. No, turn it around. When you get those butterflies, that means you should do it. You should do it right now.
Right now, right.
You know, even if you call it, I remember, I can't remember the name of the movie, but the guy was like, all you got to do is go 1, 2, 3 and jump. That's it. That's all you got to do.
I remember that. Right.
Face that fear right then and right now. When you get them butterflies, don't look at it as fear and pull away. Look at it as, I got to do this because I'm going to get better. I'm going to do this because it's going to take me over the hump. I'm going to do this and I'm going to do it right now.
Right.
Turn those butterflies. When you get those butterflies and that tense feeling in your stomach, that's telling you action is required.
Right.
Not to back away.
Nice. Yeah.
You know?
Action is required. Yeah. No. I agree, man. That's 100%. Action is required, man. So if you're feeling any of these, you know, as we went down to assess yourself, you know, you're feeling guilty, helpless, restless, unsure, decreased appetite, anything, that's your body letting you know action is required, like C said, because I definitely agree with that. And our bodies respond and let us know, they alert us on everything that we need to do. And what we'll do is we ignore the shit. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Scientists even say that the brain has a ceiling that people can't go past. And I believe like that's bullshit, because you can push past it. You can push past a lot of shit because our brains are designed to protect us. They're designed to protect us, to keep us from pain, to keep us from all these things that harm us. You have to push yourself over that edge. I don't know why I love roller coasters and somebody else doesn't. I just know I leaped over that shit where I'm like, I love the fucking thrill of that. Mm-hmm. And somebody else is scared because they haven't faced it.
Yeah.
I remember doing fucking the one in Vegas on top of the stratosphere. I did that shit 8 times, man. The shit shoots up like 50 stories over the 113th floor or whatever. And I did it. Yeah. What the fuck? 100. I know. Over that shit was like 100 and something stories up. But I did it 8 times, yo. I went right back, yo. The thrill was just fucking incredible, man. Mm-hmm. Like the adrenaline in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I get a thrill out of that shit. The adrenaline be like, yo, fucking go. So that's what you're saying. Action is required. It's like, as soon as I feel that, I'm like, let's go. And it's the same thing with my work ethic. It's like, I'll do something great. And it turns out so great. It's like, boom, I'm on it. That whole week, I may push and just try to win 6 other projects that are similar in different states because of that one we did, because of what the feeling it gave me. Instead, and people would think of it, they would think they would fear or be afraid of taking on something so big, but you don't understand. Like you said earlier, see, on the other side, it's like a blissful moment that you meet happiness. I believe a lot of people bullshit because are you happy? This is when you know you're happy. regardless of what your circumstances, and you're still happy. If a circumstance makes you happy, you can't say you're happy. You know what I'm saying? Like if your bills are paid and the thing is running right and the gas and the furnace is right and you're happy, that's because of the shit in it that's making you happy.
Right.
Are you truly happy because you've reached that level past the fear of, so what if the fucking lights shut off? I'm still fucking good. I'm happy.
Right.
Because we grew up like that. You know what I mean? So I grew up with fucking lights be off. And you like, and it ain't because it's a blackout in the city. It's a blackout in your house.
That's facts, yo. That's facts.
So,
why do you think people, as soon as the lights go out, especially in the hood, as soon as the lights go out, they just look out the window to see if anybody else's lights is on.
Right.
That's the first thing you do. Oh shit, mom ain't paid a bill.
People are not prepared because they never been through shit, and they're, oh man, what we gonna eat? What we gonna do? It's like, listen, we done been in a situation where the lights was off for fucking like a week. Yo, we need to take people that they hear about the hood, but they need to grow up because it gives you, it toughens you, and it prepares you for the real shit in life.
Mm-hmm.
Things like lights, you know, not saying these things supposed to happen, but what if it does? What if there's a blackout like in New York when that blackout, the entire city went out?
Yeah.
I can't say that's right. Well, all I know is that I am prepared for all kind of shit. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm ready for every fucking. It's like just getting geared up for war. It's like I'm ready to go to war if need be. I have everything I need because of how we were raised. You know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like yeah.
Yeah, so, I always told you, being raised in Harlem, you know what? And I'm not trying to talk bad about Harlem because I love Harlem. I'm gonna be a Harlem guy for life. I don't care where I am. You ask me where I'm from Harlem.
Right,
I don't care where I'm living, whatever. You ask me, yo, I'm from Harlem. I love Harlem with all my heart. But Harlem, it's a tough place to grow up. It is. But when you overcome that toughness, you know, who would you rather have your back? Somebody who grew up with in a wealthy, well-to-do family, had everything handed to them, you know, never went through a hard time, or you want a brother or somebody that been through it before and climbed above that.
Right.
I'm gonna always pick the brother who been through, who had the hard time, because I know they can face almost anything and just be like, okay, what's next?
Right.
that was easy. What else you got for me? You know?
Right. Now, real shit. Real.
You know, what people call the struggles in their life actually builds them up to be better and stronger, and it gives you more experience. I'm glad I never grew up having everything handed to me. I'm glad. I would not change anything. Everything that I've been through got me to this point. And by me getting to this point, I know that I still got further to go.
Right.
And it's easy now.
It's easier. Right.
It's easy.
Right. I agree. You know? There's one thing we all miss, man. I wrote down. Why are people afraid of someone else's success? And my answer for it was, does it magnify what you do and or don't do? You know what I'm saying? The reason for people being afraid of somebody else's success, or, you know, the so-called hater and whatever, I think what it does is make them feel like they haven't worked hard enough or worked good enough. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Or if you're real tight with them, it's a fear that they're going to get left behind.
Right. I agree with that. Yep.
Getting left behind. But like I said, you got to use that. That to me, that's where the competitiveness comes out, man.
Right.
You know, you got to build on that. Don't hate him because he did it. Just ask, yo, what did you do? I want to get there too. You know, don't expect for him to hand you something to get you to where he is. That would be nice. But why not ask them, yo, what did you do? I want to learn that too.
Right. I don't know why people do that shit, man, but anybody I've ever been around, I've always straight up been with around them like, yo, I want to learn that. You got to teach me.
Mm-hmm.
You know why? I'm not ashamed, man, to say I don't know something, and I'm willing to learn to be a student. You got to become, this is how I look at it. You can't, until you have to be a student first, and until you're studying under somebody else's instruction and you become a master is when you can teach it. And then when you can thoroughly say you know something. Mm-hmm. Until you've actually been through it. So everything I've gone through, man, even like talking about this fear, I've actually had serious situations I've gone through. I've studied under people that I looked up to that were, I got a buddy, my man Chan, who, he was a network engineer, and he showed me the game when I was younger or whatever. I went to school, came out, but he showed me the game, took me under his wing and showed me I was open to learn. Mm-hmm. And it was a funny situation because I even fucked up on one of his projects when I was younger. And he was cool about it. But at the same time, it was, a teacher telling like, yo, look, you can't do that shit like that. You know what I'm saying? That's not how you can do it. So you have to be willing to get criticized, to be critiqued.
Yeah.
Can't be afraid of that shit. You got to be willing to learn and listen. You can't just be like, yo, I know you don't know this shit. Because if you knew, you wouldn't be upset or of somebody else's success, hating on somebody's success, because you would be willing to learn and go, yo, I want to learn. You know what I'm saying? So what you have to do, man, is put yourself in the driver's seat and be ready for lessons.
Yeah.
Let the real driver get in the passenger seat and be ready for lessons. Be prepared for lessons, man. Don't be afraid to learn. Yeah, trust me, when you learn, like,
ask questions. You gotta ask questions. That's just about being open. If somebody's in a field that I want to be in, or somebody's a lot more successful than I am in a field, yo, I'm going to rack your brain. Yo, Shay, so what happens if you do this? Can you do it this way? Can you run it this way?
Right.
I'm coming after you.
Right.
I'm coming after you with questions because then don't take it as a negative. Oh, this guy's trying this. I'm trying to get where you are. That's right. There's enough at the top for everybody.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get there.
I tell people, yo, it's okay wanting that other person's job, because if they're going to want something else, so their job is going to become available. Mm-hmm. So it's okay to go, not to be envious and want their job, like, oh, I wanted to take him out. No, just train yourself to go, yo, I'm going to be the VP. Because I know he's doing something else. You know what I mean? He's going up. So I'm going to work on being a VP or whatever it is. It's okay, man, to want more, but hiding behind that shit, man, and having a feeling of not working hard enough, and feeling like, again, that's that feeling of feeling inadequate and self-doubt and all that shit, and just talking so much shit about yourself. You got to stop that, man. That's definitely not going to help remove the fear. You have to face it, and don't be afraid. Like C said, ask questions. That's the first thing you do. If you see somebody in a situation and they done grew and moved up and got promoted or moved to a different level, yo, how'd you do that? What route you took? How do I get myself on this level? You know what I'm saying? I know I ain't gonna be on your level, but how do I get to the level that's under you? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid, man. Like, that's that fear again, people. That's why, we fall behind as African Americans, because we are constantly afraid of asking questions or looking stupid. Mm-hmm. We're so in the image that we don't even want to look stupid. Yeah. So we just go, fuck it, I ain't gonna say shit. Yeah. I'm gonna just play broke, and I'm gonna hate on the side because I don't even want to look stupid. Yeah. How stupid does that sound, though?
That is stupid. That is stupid. That makes no sense at all. Right. And again, I always go back to my kids because they my pride and joy. And you know what? I know I'm tough on them, but that same exact thing is something that I tell them all the time. There is A's. The way the education system is designed is that if the average student just does what as instructed, they get an A. The average student. If you above average student, A should be no problem.
Right.
All you got to do is what's required to get that A.
Right.
But you can't sit in the classroom and not understand something and have the teacher there in front of you, which is the prime time to ask questions, and you'd be like, I don't know what the fuck they just said. But I'm not going to raise my hand because everybody else probably got it. No, everybody else is sitting there just like you. Oh shit! What was that? I don't understand that. But nowadays they are afraid to ask questions. I tell my kids that all the time. So you mean to tell me you didn't understand? You just sat there like a bump on the log. So I'm basically paying this teacher to sit there and talk to a log because you ain't answering questions, so he might as well be talking to a log. You're not asking, you're not raising your hand, you're not challenging what's coming out of his mouth. I could just take a log and put it in your seat. What's the difference? You have to ask questions. There is no such thing as a stupid question.
Nah.
No such thing, and people got to get past that. I ask questions in a minute. If I don't understand it, and I will tell you, I don't know. But I'll try. I will find out for you.
Right.
If I don't have the answer right there, give me a couple of days. I'll have it for you.
Nah, listen, man. If you haven't seen that movie, Pursuit to Happiness with Will Smith, that was a great movie, man. About what's the guy's name? Chris Hogan. Yeah, so definitely a good movie to see because he dealt with all kinds of fear of people that were around him. They were afraid to move forward. And I don't know if you've ever seen a movie, but in the end, it turns out everything that he ever wanted, he ended up becoming. But he had to face all his fears, everything, adversity, challenges, relationships, everything was at him at once. You know what I mean? He went through a rough and a hard time. But if he would have quit, he would have remained right where he was.
Yeah.
He would have remained right where he was, man. One shoe, no car. You know what I'm saying? That's how he would have remained if he would have quit. But he kept going through it and willing to learn, willing to understand, willing to do whatever it takes to get to that level. So yeah.
And like from that movie too, I mean, there was a point, when I stepped out of my job, I was like, yo, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do it. And I had no doubt. There was no fear. Like I said, there was no fear because I had that attitude that, look, I looked at I got a great work ethic. I'm persistent. I don't quit. I'm up 20 hours a day. And I'm like, yo, whatever I put my mind to, I can't help but be successful at.
Right.
And people have to start thinking that way, that, the job is that's not all it is, man, because you're still working for somebody else.
Right.
You got to get that mindset that, you know what, I'm going to do this. And don't get me wrong, there's some trying times, when you're working for yourself. When we got our group together, look, there were times when some of the cats was like, yo, that's it, man. This is too tough. We can't do this. And I'm like, dude, we're already past the point that most people will quit. We just got to keep pushing. We just got to keep pushing.
Right.
And what happens? You push past whatever hurdle, whatever obstacle there is, and then the next thing you know, bam, you there. It happened.
Yo, man.
Because why? You did not quit. You did not. Okay, yeah, there's some things we failed at. There's some things that didn't work out our way, but we just kept pushing. And you can't have that. You can't let that fear of failure just stop you. Some people failing and that's it. I can't do it. That's it. It don't work. No, that's just telling you try another way to get there. All right, you got a big boulder in front of you. Either you could. Some people look at the boulder and just that's it. It's telling me to stop. No, the positive person, the person that's not afraid of failure is gonna be like, you know what? I could dig under this shit. You know what? I could go around this shit. You know what? I could get my hammer and chisel out and chisel through that shit.
Yeah.
You know, I could climb over the top of it. You don't see the boulder and stop. There's ways around it. You just got to keep going. And everything that you wanted is on the other side of that boulder. You just got to find a way to get there.
He didn't fail 10,000 times. He just found 10,000 ways of not doing something.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what failure is all about, man. And it sounds so easy, see, when you're saying it, but I'm over here like nodding and yes, because it's true, man. When you keep going, greatness is on the other side, and it gets better and better and better as you keep going. I just learned something new just like 2 days ago to help the business even, grow even more. I mean, you learn so much that you don't, if you just keep fucking going.
Yeah.
It's a whole road full of shit of gifts. It's a gift. That's what I call it, the road of gifts. It's just shit over here that you go, oh shit, I didn't know that was here. I'll take that. That's cool.
Yeah.
Oh, they giving that out like that? Oh, all right. Let me have 2 of those. It's just a whole road of gifts, man. When you put yourself on that road of adversity, you gotta go down that shit. Even though you go, oh fuck, yo. The bully's standing in front of you. Got to get home though. Mama's cooking.
Yeah.
You got to get your ass kicked. Take that ass whipping and go get your food. You can't. What you going? Mom, not coming home tonight. You're going to starve yourself because you're afraid of what's in front of. You have to keep going, man. So like C said, that boulder that's there, figure out a way to get around it, get over it, get under it, whatever you got to do. But the moment you quit is the moment you've lost.
Yeah.
You fucking gave up. You've lost. You a sucker. And you're not going to have no respect for yourself. So all the respect you think others don't have for you is really an internal thing that you're giving off, that you don't have respect for yourself because you gave up.
Yeah.
I watch a lot of people deal with that shit where they're like, they're so thinking that everybody thinks this shit about them when it's really them thinking it. Because they gave up, they quit, they stopped challenging themselves, they didn't want anything else, and they were like you said, that one fucking failure, they were like, fuck it, I'm done, and if you don't like something, change it. If you don't like some shit about something that you're doing, like, yo, I don't like, damn, you know what, this ain't right, just change it. You gotta, complain about it to yourself. Like you complain about somebody else and shit. You want them to change, complain about yourself. Like, yo, I don't like this about you. Rif, you gotta change this shit about you. Rif, you gotta do this. Rif, not somebody else. We always wanted somebody else to do some shit in order for us to do it. Like, that's another thing I don't like, is that people fucking, in order for them to get going, they want you to do the shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, what's up? You gonna do it first? Or it's like, look, I'm from same time, motherfucker. Same time. Let's do this. You know what I mean? Like this. Like when me and you started, we did it the same time. It was like, yo, we gave each other, boom. This is it. We doing it the same time. We're not waiting on, if you wait on everybody else or you wait on something else to be right, you're never going to get out there. Nothing's ever going to line up for you. Nothing's ever going to be right. Nobody's ever rolling the red carpet out for you. Nothing's going to happen until you do the shit yourself.
That's right.
Nobody's doing it for you.
There's no such thing as the perfect time to start. You just got to start somewhere.
Right.
That's it. You can't wait. Oh, I got to wait for this. I got to wait for this person. This person's not ready. Yeah. Okay. I'm moving. Right. And we got to stop taking offense to certain things too, because now, like you said, people jump in on the bandwagon after you done put in all the hard work. I'm gonna be honest. Don't expect a handout from me. If you know what, I'm more than willing to teach you, but you got to understand all the struggle that I went through to get to where I am. So if I come at you and be like, yo, I'm willing to teach you, but we're gonna partner on these deals. You find the deal, I'll structure it, show you how to structure it and do all of this. But you know what? You're gonna have to pay for it. Because I went through and made up all the mistakes so that now you don't have to go through those.
Right, no doubt.
My time is valuable, but yes, I want to help you. You know, you got to be willing to say, okay, you know what? That's the price of doing business.
That's the cost of goods. That's a part of it.
You know, that's it. You know what? You got to look at all of the time, all of the work, all of the effort, all of the hardships that I had to go through to get there, and now you just like, oh, I'm coming on board now. No,
it ain't that easy. No. You're right.
It's not that easy.
But a lot of people want it like that. See, people want that just because you climbed up the ladder. You're supposed to just lead the ladder so then they can come up easily. And me personally, I don't want that shit that way. I mean, I wouldn't even take it that way. I'm like, yo, what you have to do this? You know what I'm saying? I want to feel the same. I want to feel the same thing so I can have the same feeling you have when you won. I don't want to go through the same, I'm just going to walk through what you had to run 3 miles? All right, I'm going to do my 3 miles right now.
Right. And I know people think that I be hard on them sometime, but you know what? And like I said, I'm more than willing. I'll leave the ladder for you, but you got to show me that you're worthy of being on the ladder.
Right.
You know, you can't just be like, oh, I'm just on GP, leave me the ladder. No. How I know you're not going to drop the ladder? How I know you're not going to leave the ladder for the next person? I got to make sure that if you're going to come up that ladder behind me, that you're worthy of it.
Worthy of that, right? Definitely.
You know, and being worthy of it means you're going to put in the work. You're going to put in the same work. You're going to put in the same work that I went through, but the only difference is that I'm checking your work to make sure that you didn't make the same mistakes that I made.
Quality control.
Right. You know?
No. That's right. See, all right. So we're gonna go back through, everything we discussed. Fear of God, which is the beginning of wisdom, knowing and understanding who and what you are, your capabilities, your abilities in life. The fear of danger. This is when we face certain and different kinds of threats in our lives, and you have to figure out when what's a threat? What's your threat? What are you threatened by? And you have to face it. And that's the only way you're going to be able to defeat it and conquer it, and to say that you've gotten to a place that you're now happy. The fear of self is the feelings of being inadequate, and we discussed that, and basically the resolution on that is start building self-confidence, your self-esteem up, start telling yourself positive affirmations, reading positive information, read, and if you're watching TV, read things that are educational and good for your mind. Don't put a lot of junk in your mind, because you're going to feel inadequate after you listen to some garbage about somebody telling you who you are when they don't even fucking know you. Then we talked about fear of man. This is when we fear whatever's think about us, or when we do something, or if we failed, and what they're going to say. So we don't even attempt to do the shit because we already failed, because we're afraid of what they're going to say, and it didn't even come up yet. And we're just not doing it. Like, I ain't going to do it because I don't want to hear her mouth. So you're going to stop your shit because you don't want to hear what this person has to say. Okay, if that makes sense to you. And then we talked about the spirit of fear, which is like external fears, and it goes into people negatively talking about you, or just, depositing all kind of negative shit. Hey, listen, and our resolution for that was stop giving a fuck. It's not your problem. That's their problem. If they don't like something that you're doing, then that's on them. They got to answer to themselves and figure that shit out. What's wrong with them? What I want to do is give some books, that we read. I got 3 offhand. Unfuck Your Brain by Faith Harper. Can't Hurt Me by David Goggins. And The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson.
Okay.
Yeah. So you want to throw some books out there they can pick up on Audible or Barnes and Noble.
One of the books that I'm near and dear to, I read it at least probably twice a year, listen to it on Audible, is and I can't remember the name of the author. Let me look it up real quick. But it's The Secret. Okay.
Oh yeah, you was telling me. Yeah.
And that book is you read that, it teaches you all about the power of positive thinking and the laws of attraction. Great book. I mean, like I said, I read it or listen to it at least twice a year. It's by Rhonda Byrne.
Okay.
There's another one called The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. Another book about the power of attraction and how constantly being positive doesn't do anything but attract more positivity.
So like equals like.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Right.
Great book, man. And out of those are the two books that I would recommend for everybody. And the one the one that my aunt put me on to, The Four Agreements.
Yeah. That's by Don Miguel Ruiz.
Yeah. Like you were talking about the fight or flight response.
Yeah.
People don't realize it. And there was a scientific study done, but people don't realize it. It's easy to change which one you are. Okay, because most people see fear and they're either going to run. Most people see fear and they're going to stand there and they're going to fight it, fight or flight. That's what it's about. But you can actually change it. And I didn't know that's what I was doing, but I don't know. I like to, whenever I take a shower, I love to end my shower in just cold water. I'll just turn off the hot water and just have the cold water coming out, because that feeling is just invigorating, man. It's you feel your breath leave you. You feel all the blood rushing to your limbs because of the change of temperature. It's just exhilarating. But they found that in a study that actually helps you change whether or not you have a fight or flight response, because the same reactions that you have to the cold water suddenly hitting you is the same reaction that you would have when you're standing and facing something. So
just deep.
Look, it's crazy. And I didn't have all this time. I never knew that, but I was just reading it in a magazine today, and I was like, wow, I didn't even know that. But that's what I always do. I take a nice hot shower, and then before I step out, just shut off the hot water, and it's just invigorating. Right.
So you heard that on Real and Unapologetic. Drench yourself in the coldest fucking water. Real shit. No.
Serious. You serious, man. And I get it, because you think about it, that's how them people in them hot tubs do. They take in Sweden and Iceland, they have the hot tub outside with nice hot water in it, but it'd be like 10 below zero after they step out. And dude, it's a great feeling, man. It sounds weird, but it's a great
feeling. I mean, I had that similar experience like that, and I know now that feeling is, you're right. Just coming out of the cold and then cool. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
The change of it.
Yeah.
You figured out how something doesn't work for the wrong reasons, and you're afraid of all these reasons for the wrong. So why about you work on figuring out the right reasons and fight against it to come up with another option, another way to take on it versus just stopping because you're afraid. You know what I'm saying? So lead yourself into victory. And, we got to keep winning, man. This is what this is all about. Being winners, being successors. And success has nothing to do with the value of money. So don't go counting your bank account and going, damn, I'm not successful. Don't go counting, every good deed you did and go, damn, I'm not like this. That's not how it worked, man. To me, being successful is just defeating things that you were challenging for you. And whatever that was, that could have been you were afraid of dogs and you succeeded at not being that fear, or you was afraid to fly and now you fly 100 times a year. Whatever that is, be happy that you've defeated and conquered that fear, because you're successful. You know what I mean? Now Jeff Bezos took us to a different level. Elon Musk is taking a different level, and you can see as you can see in this era, it's you're unstoppable if you constantly push yourself, man. And yeah, so I'm gonna close out like that. I'm gonna let C say his closing notes, and we see you on episode 4.
That's it. And look, you know me, I like to keep it simple and short. So I'm just gonna close out with my favorite no fear quote. Might be a little harsh to people, but you gotta understand my mindset and what it takes to achieve your goals. And the quote goes like this: I am not afraid. I am not scared. I am an animal, and I will eat you alive if I have to. And that's it.
No doubt. That's real